Ladies and gentlemen, use your common sense. Well, YouTube, it's been too long. What's it been, a couple of months? Yeah, I took a bit of a nosedive when the Sarah Boone trial got put back again. I just looked it up. It's now set for May 13th. Ah ha 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 ha. Yeah, so that's going to be a date like no other in history. You know, that's going to be like all Adelson trials rolled into one. But for today, a little get back into the game treat here. We're going to be looking at Wendi Adelson's trial testimony, day 1, part 1, year 1, 2019. That's from the joint trial of Katherine Magbanua and Sigfredo Garcia. And I believe this is the first time ever that Georgia Kappelman has had the privilege of questioning Wendi with anything. You know, there's been no deposition, there's been no correspondence, there's been no helping the state attorney's office find out who killed the father of her children. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. But like I said, little rusty on the game here, so without further ado, top of the hour, too sweet to be sour, roll tape, please. Now what do I do? I've forgotten how to use the buttons. Come on, what are we doing here? Okay, we press this one. Okay, and then we press play.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. It's John Lauro, Lauro, and I'm counsel for Ms. Adelson.
Man, if ever there was a lawyer who knew how to speak like a lawyer, look at that perfectly wavy hair. Doesn't that just scream privilege and education and dignity and pride and putting your client first?
And it's my understanding that the state is requesting the court to compel Ms. Adelson's testimony. Is that correct, Ms. Kaplan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And based upon that, Ms. Adelson, testimony you provide and anything derived from this testimony cannot be used against you, but you will be required to answer all relevant questions. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Anything else you want to make?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
You know, that she's got a game face on, right? I mean, did you see, how do we go back here? What are the buttons? Like this? When she turns back to face front, you know, it really feels like a boxer who's set, game, focus, you know, or what kind of sport? Maybe someone who's really good at backgammon.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Slow head movements. This is all part of the slow. Hey, by the way, 544 Camp Street. That's the name of a channel. Probably my favorite channel. Fantastic channel. What have I got to say about? Oh yeah, so if I've listened to his videos on this case and others, but especially on this case because they're real good. So I've got some of his ideas floating around in my head. Now, they're very similar to some of my own ideas, not necessarily the ones I broadcast here, but the ones I hold deeply in my heart. So I was just about to say something about Wendi's slow, suggestive movement, and I think 544 Camp Street was saying something about that. I'm worried that I'm going to plagiarize his channel by accident. If I do that, 544, it's not on purpose. It's great minds think alike. But yeah, so yeah, slow movements. Slow movements. to slow down people's, just to make them dizzy, just to start making them dizzy. How much training has she been through here? One thing we know about Wendi is that she is a studious person, it would seem. Valedictorian, whatever, top head girl of whatever, she gets the grades. Personally, I've always thought that was her full scholarship and stuff like that came from some shady deal that Harvey was working out, just like he did with Charlie's dentistry degree. But she probably is a quick study, or maybe not a quick study, but a dedicated student of certain things, and her language and tone is no exception. Her hypnotic movements, her refusal to produce affirmative answers. She always has to reshape. If she's asked a question, did you drive up to the crime scene? She won't say, oh, hang on. No, that's what's the opposite of affirmative? Okay, let's come back. Let's come back.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Secretary, please.
Look at that, darting around every which way she's looking. She is taking in everything, reading the room. Crazy.
Your Honor, could I just get an estimate on the time so I can tell the report?
I think she said about 45 minutes.
Would we then break after theirs and reserve cross for Tuesday?
No. We're gonna finish today with this witness.
I understand. I don't believe that we're gonna be able to do the deposition.
That's up to you.
You guys can secure a reporter for us. We'll use our reporter.
I'm not too sure how I feel about this judge. I think his name is Hendrickson. He's dead now. But there's certain parts of this trial where I think he really should have retired a long time ago. But then he comes out of the gate with some shutdowns for Mr. Hand Grenade. And the lawyer for Sigfredo Garcia, I call him Mr. Hand Grenade because his name is Sangrene or something. But he shuts him down real quick, real hard. So, but then other times he sounds a bit like the, you remember Family Guy with Mayor West, Adam West as the mayor of Quahog? Or is it the pervert in Family Guy? He starts saying to the jury, like, this is probably not what you're going to want to hear late on a Friday afternoon, but here's a little legal lesson about immunity and use and derivative use. Immunity means that they cannot be cut. And it's like, man, what are you doing? Just write it down and text it. Just write it down and text it, man. Just stop putting everyone to sleep with your retired voice.
Oh, tonight you mean? Have to work on that. Don't know.
We're waiting.
Yours in the courtroom?
Do I need to stand because I'm an Adelson, and shouldn't the jury be standing for me? Little nip tuck gone wrong on the neck there, Wendi, huh? Little podge removed and the doctor messed up, or what?
Everybody be seated, please. Okay, proceed, Ms. Captain.
All right, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
My name is Wendi Adelson, Wendiadelson.
How are you employed, Ms. Adelson?
I'm an attorney.
All right, and do you know,
Microphone up just a little bit, if you would, please, ma'am. All right.
I'm an attorney.
all right, how were you employed back in 2014?
I was employed at FSU Law School.
Okay, and were you a member of the Florida Bar at that time?
I was.
All right, and did you know Dan Markel?
Yes, I did.
How did you know Mr. Markel?
He was my husband.
When did you meet him?
Okay. I can remember. I would not need to think about when I met my husband, like at all. You know, hey, Wendy, when you're remembering something, eyes up and to the right. Remember your training, Wendy. Why does she need to think about that? I mean, I think I even know it from this case. It was 2004 in August.
We met in 2004.
Okay, and when did you marry?
We married in 2006.
Did you ever live in Tallahassee?
I did live in Tallahassee.
When did you first move to Tallahassee?
We moved to Tallahassee in the fall, August of 2005.
Okay, August was when they moved to Tallahassee. And by the way, guys, I have no notes. I have no preparation. I think that's been one of the main hurdles over the last couple of months while I have not been making any content is like, oh, I need to prepare. Oh, I need to have a plan. So whatever. We're just who's not going to love a Wendy video? Come on. Oh, by the way, like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel because it all happens here, man.
And we lived in Tallahassee that academic year. So from 2005 until the summer.
Yeah, I only think in academic years because I'm an academic, and you can tell that from my academia.
Summer of 2006. And then we spent a year living in Miami from 2006 to 2007. And then I lived back in Tallahassee from 2007 to 2014.
Why did you move to Tallahassee the first time?
The first time we moved to Tallahassee for Danny's job, he got a job at FSU Law School.
All right, and what about the second time?
And the second time we moved back to Tallahassee because he had tried to get a job at University of Miami Law School and it didn't work out.
All right, so both times it was for his employment?
Yes,
Okay, did you like living in Tallahassee?
I did.
All right, and did you live on Trescott?
Loved it. Loved it. My favorite thing was the annual pig racing contest where we just race the pigs right into a swamp. And yeah, no, you kidding? Tallahassee was the best years of my life. It's Miami I can't stand.
Scott Drive?
We did. That was our home.
And where are you from, Ms. Adelson?
I'm from Broward County originally.
Okay, and do you have family members in Broward currently?
I have one family member in Broward.
For those of you that might be interested, this is something I do remember from old 544 Camp Street. The mention of Broward County over Coral Springs, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, whatever, is something that he brought up. Broward County, Florida. So Coral Springs is in Broward County. You want to see on the map here? How do we show the map? Let's present. Present the map. Broward County map. There we go. So we all know that she loves Miami, right? But Broward County itself is where all the criminals live and all the deadbeats, the Everglades and Francis St. Taylor Wildlife Sanctuary, Pembroke Pines, you know, all these places. So her saying, yeah, I'm from Broward County as opposed to Miami, you know, look how close it is to Boca Raton. As opposed to Miami is what? To get on the side of the people of Tallahassee, to make them think she's a good old girl? Or maybe not a she doesn't want to look like a shady character. I just thought it was interesting, you know, her not saying Coral Springs, not saying Miami. I think she says a different thing in each of the 3 trials that she's done. This time it's Broward County. Next time it's Coral Springs. Next time Miami. It's, you know, I really want to get together, because she's asked the same questions a lot of the time in all 3 trials, but each time she has a different answer, a different style, because she knows it doesn't matter. She knows that the only people that matter is not the judge, not the attorneys, it's the jury. And the jury are selected for having slim to no knowledge of the case, so they can be impartial, right? So it really doesn't matter what the judge thinks. And Wendi knows that Georgia has had the same and more training in, you know, recognizing vocal cues, recognizing evasive language, and knowing, you know, how to read people. So, you know, Wendi is under no illusion that Georgia Kappelman knows exactly what's going on here. Hey, Rabbit, look, comments from Rabbit. Mommy found, oh, how do we share these comments from Rabbit? Mommy found a sperm donor for Princess Wendi on J-Date. Ah, yes, yes. Yes, he looks like a Harvard-educated law professor. A good Jewish boy. The university in Miami refused to hire Wendi. That's why it didn't work out. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh, I thought it was all that weirdo Professor Markel. They didn't want him in Miami, but it was actually Wendi's fault. Crazy.
Live currently, or you can just tell us.
I live in Miami-Dade County.
And what about your parents? Where do they live?
They currently live in Miami-Dade County.
All right. And what about your brother, Charles Adleson?
He lives in Broward County.
And do you have any children?
I do.
And how many children do you have?
I have 2 children.
What are their ages?
They are 10 and 8, turning 9 soon.
Okay. Both boys?
Both boys.
And both the biological children of Dan Markel?
Yes.
How are your family members employed, specifically your parents and your brother?
My mom is not currently working very much. She helps out with my dad's office. My dad is a dentist, and my brother Charlie is a periodontist.
And does your family have a dental practice in South Florida
They do.
that they own and operate?
They do.
Is your family in South Florida wealthy? And that's a relative term.
Are you asking me to speculate?
No, I'm asking if they're wealthy. You may, if you don't know, you say you don't know.
It depends how you define wealthy.
It depends how you define wealthy. Well, you know, They own and run the Adelson Institute dental practice in South Beach. They live in a exclusive high-rise condominium, and their son is making a minimum of $2 to $3 million a year, drives a Ferrari, has multiple cars, you know, a big Mercedes, a what do you call it, a used undercover cop car, and every possible toy that you could imagine for a you know, Florida exclusive lifestyle, jet skis, a boat, you know, lives in a mansion. Are they wealthy? Well, it's a relative term. Relative to what? It's like when Wendy's asked, "Is your mother controlling?" And she says, "As compared to other people's parents." Yeah, well, you know, what are you... Georgia's got a great line there. She just goes, yeah. Like, what did you think I was asking?
Are they millionaires?
No.
Quiet denial. Very quiet. When Wendi, okay, so for her affirmative answers, she likes to reshape the format of the statement, you know? I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. I'll wait until one comes up. They're really good. She always does this. Are they the biological children of Professor Markel? They were also Danny's kids. Or, you know, she can't just say yes, because if she says yes, that gives the thing that the jury remember is the way the prosecutor asked the question, right? And if she changes the styling of the wordage, the phraseology, you know, she has her footprint there. So she shapes it more how she wants, and it just takes something away. You see how that works? But with the denials, she wants to just get away from them as quickly as possible. So she does offer, if you look at her affirmations and her denials, the affirmations are almost never just yes. But the denials are often no, and quiet no's, you know, with no reaction, just no. Are they millionaires? No.
When did you separate from Mr. Markel?
We separated in the fall of 2012.
And was part of the reason for your disagreement or separation having to do with how to raise the children in terms of your faith?
Yes, we had different ways of practicing our faith.
Okay.
And in what ways did you practice your faith, Wendi? I mean, name the top 3 ways that you practice the Jewish faith. You know, you don't attend synagogue. You don't eat kosher. You make fun of your rabbi's name. I mean, yeah, we had different ways of practicing our faith. I did nothing, and he wanted to practice.
Do you know when you filed for divorce?
I believe it was the fall of 2012.
Okay, 9/10/2012 sound right to you?
That sounds right.
And when you separated initially in the fall of 2012, did you move to South Florida with the kids?
No, I did not.
You didn't go to South Florida with the kids?
No, I did not.
Was it your desire during that time to move with the children to South Florida?
I would say right then, no, it wasn't.
Are you familiar with a court order ordering you to come back to Tallahassee from South Florida?
I'm not familiar with that.
News to me. Court order ordering me to come back to Tallahassee. I mean, where I would want to be anyway for the pig race.
When you moved out from the marital home there on Trescott Drive, you lived at another residence in Tallahassee, is that correct?
I did.
And do you recall the address there?
I do. 3303 Aqua Ridge Way.
Isn't that exactly how people answer questions when they're on a quiz show? You know, like and it's funny because they love their quiz shows. These Adelsons, right? The daughter and the mother, both on the Wheel of Fortune, The Weakest Link, 3303 Aqua Ridge Way. You know, wrong. It's a quiz show. That's how it works.
Okay. And was there a time during the time that you were living there at Aqua Ridge that you determined that you would like to move to South Florida with the children?
There was.
All right. And were your parents very involved in trying to facilitate that relocation?
My parents were supportive of me moving to South Florida.
Like any good, wholesome parents would be. My parents were supportive. Oh, well, that's great.
Would you describe your parents as being over involved in your personal business?
As compared to other people's parents,
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know.
What was the child custody schedule when you were living at Aqua Ridge? And I assume Mr. Markel continued.
What's the consensus? Do people believe that she's on drugs here? Because there's a lot of nervous energy. I mean, you know, we can assume that she's got some nerves. I mean, I've never been in the witness stand, you know. I imagine just in general, the experience would be pretty, you know, nerve-wracking. But and at this point, you know, Charlie's not been arrested. They've had the bump already, you know. So they're shitting bricks. But they're still hoping that, I mean, I guess the Adelsons are hoping that Katherine Magbanua doesn't go to jail, because that would connect Charlie too heavily, and that I guess they have to hope for Sigfredo to go down because he was jealous of. I mean, what? How do you make a story out of that that's anywhere near convincing? Yeah, Sigfredo was jealous that Katie was sleeping with Charlie and killed the guy that Charlie hates. I mean, what is that?
You live in the marital home on Trescott.
He did.
Okay. What was the custody situation with the kids?
So the custody situation changed over time and depending on the part of the year. But I think in the beginning, we would.
Yeah, depending on the part of the year, like right after I did this Visigoth-like sacking of the marital home, there was no custody arrangement, and the kids were with me in an undisclosed location. Markel had no access, and and there was no arrangement in place. But later in the year, you know, in order to look, what do you call it, reasonable to the court, I allowed him access. I mean, when it was convenient for me to go and visit Daniel Sack or my boss or whatever. You know, I mean, Jesus Christ.
We would do a Wednesday night overnight. It was about 50-50 shared custody, but I don't remember the exact arrangement. I do remember in the summertime, it would switch to week on, week off, but during the school year, it was slightly different.
So still 50-50, but not necessarily every other week. It was mixed up within the week.
It was.
Okay. And you mentioned that you did develop a desire to move to South Florida. Did you file a motion to that effect on January 14th, 2013?
That sounds, I did file a motion. I don't remember the exact date,
Okay.
but that sounds about right.
All right. And in that motion, did you make some allegations that Mr. Markel was making things difficult for you at work?
I did.
Okay. And was that motion granted or denied?
That motion was denied.
All right. Denied with prejudice?
I don't remember.
Okay.
If you have it, I'm happy to take a look.
Okay. But in any event, you were not able to move at that time.
I did not move.
And were you upset about being stuck in Tallahassee?
I was relieved.
You were relieved. You wanted to stay in Tallahassee.
I was happy.
Yeah, I was relieved that my motion to request my relocation was denied. Does that make any sense? I mean, what is that? Come on, even the jury must be like, what? What did you just say? You went to the trouble and the expense of hiring 3 legal representative attorneys at probably $300 an hour each to put together a motion to make the court grant you permission to relocate 400 miles away with the children of a man who was never abusive, was very supportive, loving. All right, maybe he. What do people say about Professor Markel? That he could be difficult sometimes. He was argumentative. All right, that's okay. That's not a something that, not to the children. Was he arguing with the children, saying, that he went to Harvard?
Happy at my job.
Okay. Do you recall when your divorce to Mr. Markel became final?
The summer of 2013.
Okay. July 31st sound about right?
That sounds right.
Would you consider your divorce with Mr. Markel to be a nasty divorce?
I think most divorces aren't very pleasant.
Okay, but this one was like really unpleasant, right?
I found getting divorced to be unpleasant, yes.
And in the litigation that ensued between the two of you, you guys argued over things as small as a tennis racket. I noticed in one pleading.
I don't remember that.
Did he threaten to press kidnapping charges against you?
Overruled.
I don't remember
that?
that. No.
I just want to say that one of the things that's so, I think, one of the reasons that these multiple trials, excuse me, with repeat witnesses, Wendi, Jeff, June, with Wendi, it doesn't matter if Georgia Kappelman is asking the questions, or Christopher DeCoste, or Tara Kawas, or Mr. Sanganay, or it was a little bit different with Daniel Rashbaum, actually. But basically, apart from the Daniel Rashbaum thing, because that was a different case, but no one is on Wendy's side. No one is like helping her support her ideas. And similarly, no one is against Jeff. You know, whether they're the defense or the prosecution, with these two witnesses, it's everybody's against Wendi apart from Dan, and everyone's for Jeff apart from Dan. Daniel Rashbaum now. I think that's an interesting thing. I can't think of another trial where there's that kind of either full support from questioning or full antagonism from questioning.
Did he threaten to go after your law license? Remember that?
I don't remember that, no.
Do you remember him saying you failed to disclose a bunch of assets in the divorce process?
I do remember that.
Okay. Did you guys have any mediations as part of your divorce?
We did have mediations leading up to settlement.
2 8-hour mediations, correct?
I don't remember how long they were, but they seemed very long.
Yeah. And they both did not result in a resolution.
They did not.
All right. But you did reach a settlement, I think, kind of just on the eve of a trial on the matter, correct?
That sounds right.
Do you remember this motion that was filed by your deceased ex-husband on March 26, 2014, involving, among other things, that had to do with your mother, an allegation that your mother was disparaging the children? I'm sorry.
Overruled.
Disparaging him to the children is what I meant to say. Are you familiar with that pleading?
I am familiar with that pleading.
All right. And in that pleading, did he allege that you were depriving him of physical access to the children?
I don't remember the specifics.
Do you recall whether he was complaining about you refusing to communicate with him about right of first refusal to the children during your time with them?
I know he was frustrated about the Skyping.
Lack of communication via Skype.
It's hard to
between the
Skype
children.
with two toddlers, yes.
All right. And in that motion, do you recall him being upset about an allegation that you let the kids eat non-kosher foods?
I remember him being upset about that in general, but I don't remember whether it was in a motion or not.
What does that mean, non-kosher foods?
Oh, kosher lesson coming up here. I never knew this about the milk and meat thing. Funny choice of words. Most people would say meat and dairy, but the way she says milk and meat is just like, I don't know. It's almost like witchcraft. It comes across as some sibyl speaking from inside a cave. Milk and meat. Bring me the milk and meat.
So kosher rules have to do with the separation of milk and meat, or dairy and meat. So non-kosher foods would be meat that hasn't been killed in a way that conforms with Jewish law, or the mixing of the two.
And is observing those types of eating habits something that's important to you?
It is not important to me.
And what?
It is so not important to me. I don't want my kids to be ostracized from, their peers. So, when Lincoln was 1 year old, we went to a birthday party and he had pepperoni pizza. A 1-year-old. That just seems weird to me. Hey, look, let's have a look at this comment. I like this comment. True Crime Metrics. Rabbit says, overall, people do support Jeffrey Lacasse and do not support Wendi. Actually, people support the head of the Latin Kings gang, Luis Rivera, more than Wendi. Absolutely agree, and rightly so. I think Luis Rivera is pretty popular among the shitty characters of this case. I mean, bad dude, yes, but he comes across as honest. I mean, it's to save himself, you know, it's to get the best deal for him, and you don't really pick up guilt or shame or you know, the biggest shame you get from him um is that he flipped, right? And that, you know, he's had to spill the beans on his co-defendant and his co-conspirator and the Latin Kings, and that's the shame that you get from him. But the other thing he does is he's able to laugh at himself, you know, when Georgia Kappelman asks him, and did your plan include renting a car in your own name? He laughs and, you know, goes, yeah. Yeah, we did that. We shot a hole in the Prius, and, you know, I took a picture of an owl, and you know, he's quite a likable guy in some ways. Bad dude, but you know, this person, Wendi Adelson, is 1,000 times worse than him, in my opinion, and more dangerous. I really wouldn't be surprised if she had poisoned people, plotted murders, and even had them carried out. I mean, if I had ever had anything to do with her, no one is indispensable to Wendi Adelson. To further her need, you know, she wouldn't care about, you know, the other thing is Luis Rivera was pretty vocal about refusing. Absolutely no way he was going to kill the guy in front of the kids. He wouldn't even rob drug dealers if kids were in the house. And, you know, that shows some kind of moral compass. And I would defy anybody, challenge anybody to show me one modicum of shred of indication that Wendi Adelson has any moral fiber whatsoever. The smallest note, hint, whiff of any morality within her. It's not there. It does not exist. And she is a dangerous shitbag.
Was it something that was important to Dan Markel?
It was important to Danny.
And it was important to him that the children observe that way of eating, correct?
It was.
And in that motion, did he seek to restrict your mother's contact with the kids to supervised visits only?
I don't remember, but if you'd like to show me the motion, I can take a look.
Okay, but you don't remember that portion.
No.
All right. Do you remember the allegation that your mother made statements to the children that grandma hates you? Grandma says you're stupid. Your father is trying to take my sunshines away. Anything like that? Do you recall?
No, but again, I'm happy to look at it if you'd like to show me.
I understand. Do you recall that Mr. Markel was seeking sanctions against you personally in that motion?
I don't remember that.
Do you know whether this would have been a motion that you would have shown to your mother? Would she have been aware of it?
I probably would have shown my mom the motion.
Is it fair to say that your parents are very protective of you?
I think that's fair to say.
Is it fair to say that your brother is very protective of you?
I think that's fair to say.
Okay. What about Dan Markel? Did your family like him?
Do you want to specify a point in time?
Well, I'm specifically thinking of a statement you made in the interview after his death, where you indicated that your parents were very angry with him. Is that accurate?
At that point in time, during our divorce, I do think they were angry with him. They felt like he had treated me badly.
And the motion to preclude your mom from having unsupervised contact with your kids, that was still pending at the time of his murder, correct?
That's possible. I mean, I don't think anyone took that motion very seriously.
Okay. Did your mom take it seriously?
I don't think so.
Did Dan Markel take it seriously?
I don't know how Danny felt about a motion. If he wrote the motion, he was probably taking it seriously.
I want to approach with some emails. Have you had an opportunity to review State's Exhibit 80?
I'm wondering, you know, Charlie Adelson's big investment for his trial was Josh Dubin, right? Josh Dubin. I love the bit on the jailhouse phone calls when he's speaking to the girl that lives in his house. I forget her name, but he's telling her to look him up, Josh Dubin, and he says, just remember it like Josh Dublin, but without the L. Josh Dubin from Dublin. What is that? You know, that's like I have to remember two things, and then to subtract one of the letter. Just it's a 5-letter name. You know, Dubin. I got it. Thank you. Anyway, you know, $1 million for jury selection. A lot of good that did, huh? You know. And there's a lot of chatter about these guys like Josh Dubin who make it their business to select a jury that will, you know, they profile potential jurors and they select the jurors that they believe would be accepted as impartial, but have the most opportunity to lean towards their client's version of events, right? It's hedging the bets. It's you know, it's and you know, there's a lot of chatter about the what is the word? Ethical ethics, ethicity, ethicity of these guys. But I say, hey, you know, if someone is on trial for their life, the rest of their life, if you can sell them for $1 million, why not? You know, take their money. It didn't work. I mean, if they'd got him off because of that jury selection process, that'd be a different dilemma. But you know, as a business, it's a pretty good model. I don't know. All he did was show up. He didn't even stick around for the trial. He was off buying whatever he buys. Why was I talking about that?
And I'm gonna, I don't know if you want to do it now or I'm gonna request a sidebar on this.
What's that?
I'm gonna request a sidebar on this.
Let her identify first.
This is State's Exhibit 80. Just take a moment and flip through and make sure this is the exhibit you've reviewed previously.
I've been shown these exhibits.
Okay. And are these exhibits fair and accurate copies of emails between yourself and your mother, Donna Adelson?
They are.
And the email addresses on this exhibit, donnaharvey@gmail.com. Whose address is that?
My parents have a joint email address.
Okay, but you were communicating with one of them in particular.
She loves this. She loves this. It's like, yeah, my parents, they're so in love, and they just they're 40 plus years in, and they have a joint email address. I mean, to me, I don't care how long you've been married. That just doesn't make any sense to me. A joint email address? How annoying would that be? Nothing's private. I mean, that I'm never going to do that in my life. What a weird thing. You just share the same email address? Why?
Whoever signed the email, but it could be from either or both of them.
Okay, either signed it, but we can deduce from who signed it, who this one was from.
That sounds right.
Okay, and Wendi Adelson at gmail.com, is that you?
That is me.
All right, Judge, at this time, I'd ask you to move into evidence. State exhibit
We'll go sidebar.
You know, this is the exact same courtroom, same witness chair, same judge as the Denise Williams trial in the case of the alligator Mike. Yeah, Brian Winchester sat right there and told us all how he shot his best friend point blank range with a shotgun in the face. Oh man, what a room. What a vibe. Yeah, maybe you're right, C. Malone. But they're not, I mean, are they old? I guess they are old, even here. Yeah, maybe. Good point, Lee.
Let me give a brief legal explanation to the jury.
Does he not sound exactly like that pervert from Family Guy?
You've heard a number of hearsay objections about things that were said by Mr. Markel, things that are in these emails by another person who may not be testifying. Normally, we refer to those things as hearsay, and they're not allowed without the person actually testifying, but there are a whole bunch of exceptions to that. And one of the exceptions to that is when it's not being offered to prove that what's said is true, but simply to show that it has been said because there's some relevance to the fact that these statements were made. So I am not offering these statements to show they're true. These persons, I mean, obviously, Mr. Markel can't be here for us to have cross-examination of him. We don't anticipate that the other Miss Adelson will be here as a witness. We can't test. The attorneys will not be able to test that to see whether that's true or not, but I am allowing it for limited purposes to show state of mind of these persons. So you may proceed, Ms. Kaufman.
Yes, Your Honor. I noticed in the emails that your mother referring to, who I think is Dan Markel, as gibbers. What does that mean?
Jibbers was a nickname that I gave Danny when he was being really difficult and causing me a lot of pain. Was sort of a nickname I gave him to make him feel less threatening.
So it was
Jibbers. I don't know if I've said this before or not, but to me, gibbers comes from Wendi fucking with his head so much that he's physically shaking with frustration. Just like, what do you want? What is your intention, your purpose? You know, back off. You know, to the point where he's just wanting to hit himself in his own head. And he's gibbering around like, you know, that. So it yeah, it was a nickname when he was being scary. And it just made him sound less threatening. You know, I wanted to call him Fuzzy Wuggle Boy, but we settled on Jibbers in the end. And I don't know how to spell it, even though I spell everything perfectly at the earliest opportunity. Opportunity. OPP ORTUNITY. But Jibbers, it could be with a G, it could be with a J, it could be with a silent M.
It's a derogatory thing.
I wouldn't say it was derogatory.
Did you call him that to his face?
No, I called him Danny to his face.
Okay.
And gibbers would be what?
Brackets, I only called him Jibbers behind his back. But doesn't she make that sound so sweet and honorable? I called him Danny to his face. Because that's his name, it's Danny. But when I speak to my mother about this gibbering idiot weirdo, Professor Markel, it's Jibbers. What?
What? How would you spell that?
I don't know that I ever spelled it out. In the emails, I think it's spelled with a J, but I guess you could spell it with a G.
Jibbers.
That would be one way to.
Ms.
spell it.
Adelson, you had Mr. Markel's phone number programmed into your phone as JIBBERS, didn't you?
That's right.
That's another thing she does when she gets a little bit caught, is just kind of freeze and stare and not react. Is that a poker face? I guess so. But I've seen it more than once. This is one time. Let's keep an eye out for some more. When she gets a little bit caught out, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I ever spelt out Jibbers. Miss Adelson, you had Professor Markel's phone number programmed into your phone as JIBBERS, didn't you? Yeah.
Do you know much about your brother Charles Adelson's business practices?
I know that he does implant surgery.
Do you know anything about whether he offers discounts for cash or does a lot of business in cash?
I have no idea.
Do I know anything about his business practices? Yeah, he came up with a great business model and was pretty successful. He worked hard, and you know he was a traveling dentist, and what that meant is that he didn't have any overheads, because what he would do is he would travel to different dental offices so that he could spend most of the day driving around in a Ferrari, posing with the license plate Maestro on the phone to his mother for 2 or 3 hours a day daily, stopping for lunch at a nice restaurant, the kind with tablecloths and white wine in a little cooler right next to the table. And and what else would he do? Yeah, he would also launder money for the different dental practices that he visited. You know, he had a great business model. The philosophy was clean teeth, clean money. Fantastic.
Do you know if there's a safe in your parents' house that has stacks of cash inside?
I don't know about a safe with stacks of cash.
So you don't have a stack of cash in your parents' safe that's Wendy's stack?
No.
Okay. Did Charlie Adleson like Dan Markel? And again, I'm referring to the time frame before his death.
I mean, I think he was also, he would listen to me when I would tell him about things I was upset about at the time with the divorce. So whether he liked him or didn't like him, he certainly was supportive of me.
Okay, but he never expressed any dislike.
No,
Did he mention hiring a hitman to kill your husband?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
no,
Did he ever joke about he looked into hiring a hitman, but buying you a TV as a divorce present would be cheaper?
he did make that joke. He tended to repeat
Oh.
himself, and sometimes he would make jokes that
Oh
weren't
my
very
God.
funny about all kinds of things.
Hate this bit. He did make that joke. Did you see how many times did she practice that in the mirror? This regretful tone.
He looked into hiring a hitman, but buying you a TV as a divorce present would be cheaper?
He did make that joke. He tended to repeat himself, and sometimes he would make jokes that weren't very funny about all kinds of things.
All right, and was that
Yeah. Mexicans, gays. I'd love can we get a Charlie Adleson joke book together? Is that possible? You know, like these jokes in bad taste. You know, it's like that bit in what is it? Gran Torino, where Clint Eastwood says, a Mexican, a Jew, and a colored fella go into a bar, and the bartender says, "Get the fuck out of here." What are these jokes in bad taste? And why it's not even really a joke, is it? It's not. There's no build up. There's no punchline. It's just, yeah, I got her a TV. It was cheaper than a hitman. Oh, ha 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 ha! Hilarious.
TV? Did he buy you a TV as a divorce present?
He did.
He did.
And was that TV the same TV that was being repaired at your residence at the time that your husband was murdered?
It was.
Who made the arrangements for that TV repair?
I did.
Your mom didn't make those arrangements?
I don't believe so.
And the repairman was at your house that morning that your husband died between 8:30 and 9:15. Do you agree with that?
I remember he was supposed to come between 8 and noon, and then he ended up coming on the early side.
That's when he arrived, between 8:30 and 9:15.
It's my best recollection.
Did Charlie ever say that he considered all possible options to take care of the problem being Dan Markel?
Objection, hearsay. And,
Oh.
Your Honor, I just have a standing objection, so I don't think.
You bet.
Did he ever say that?
No.
After the murder of Mr. Markel, did Charlie Adelson take you out for a celebration dinner?
No.
Do you recall any dinner where shortly after Mr. Markel's death where you were with Mr. Charlie Adelson and vomited?
I do remember that dinner. I'm sorry?
Go ahead, I interrupted you.
After Danny died, I was terrified that someone was going to come after me or my children and harm us as well. And so I didn't leave my house for about a month. And when I finally felt ready to leave the house and have dinner, I told my brother that I wanted to have dinner, that I was ready to finally go to a restaurant and eat a meal again. And I'd barely eaten for a full month, just out of grief and shock. And so that night when I finally ate for the first time, they ended up taking a while before they sat us, and they sat us at the bar, and I had a drink, and I wasn't used to eating anything or drinking alcohol. And
With this testimony, there's not really much to discuss. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but this whole little sympathy hunting spiel here is prepared nonsense. I was ready to leave the house and eat a meal. I hadn't eaten for 30 days. For grief and shock. You know, you're just you're as transparent as the water that runs down the drain. You know, it's like, what are you trying to achieve? What is she trying to achieve? She's not doing a sales job on Kappelman. She couldn't care less what Kappelman thinks. She already knows that Kappelman's got serious information. The money that Tallahassee PD, the FBI put into this, tens of millions of dollars already at this point, and it continued. You know, and just on the stuff we already know, Georgia Kappelman's got card after card after card that we just haven't seen yet. And the cops. There's so much to come out. And Wendi knows that Georgia Kappelman has to play a kind of soft game here because she has use and derivative use immunity. So nothing she says in this trial can be used against her. So if Georgia Kappelman brings up stuff that could be used against her, she wastes the cards, right? So you know, I guess she's selling the jury on one hand, but mainly I think it's the court of public opinion. People in her life know that she knows that people in her life, her co-workers, her romantic interests, her friends, if you want to call them that, I call them puppets, are going to be watching this. They're going to see this. And that's the only people she's talking to here. Even in Charlie's trial, she wasn't really interested in getting him off. I mean, only to the extent that if he got off, that would make it less likely that she would be in trouble. You know, she's completely distanced herself now from her mother, her brother, and you know, it's all she cares about is herself. I mean, that seems obvious. I don't even know why I'm saying that to an audience, but you know, when she's doing these long sympathy searching answers about, I told my brother I was ready to go out and eat a meal and I hadn't eaten in 30 days. It's like, who is she selling that to? It's not the jury. What does she care about the jury? Who's on trial? Sigfredo and Katie. You think she could give a shit about those people?
And I threw up at the table the only time in my life I've done something like that, but it was certainly not a celebration.
And you never heard your brother refer to it in that way?
No.
Were you involved in any way in a plot to kill Dan Markel?
No.
Do you have any knowledge other than the statements you said your brother made or the jokes your brother made? Do you have any knowledge of anyone being involved in a plot to kill your husband?
No.
Do you know Katherine Magbanua?
I have met her before.
How do you know her?
We met.
There's one of those reshaping affirmations. Do you know Katherine Magbanua? I have met her before. not yes or, you know, I have met her before. So it's distancing and it's reshaping. Who did she pay? Oh, that's what I was saying earlier when about Charlie's big investment being Josh Dubin and jury selection. Well, what kind of money do you think Wendi spent? We know her lawyer, who's representing her in for this process is John LaRoe, the same lawyer that Trump had for his what do you call it, Georgia election thing. So that must have cost an arm and a leg. But as far as coaching, acting coaching, there's specific tutors of what to do and what not to do on the stand and how to cope with questions, difficult questions, how to appear innocent, all these sorts of things. What do you think that spent? How many hours of training has she been through to produce what we're seeing here? Because what we're seeing here is very different from the interrogation video. I believe that was largely just her relying on her own knowledge of manipulation, sexual antagonism, and the tricks that she's honed throughout her life. But this really smells of professional training to me. And I'm wondering, did she spend $1 million on this? I probably not, but they could if they wanted to, right? They have cash all over the place. They were going to pay Professor Markel $1 million for him to move to Miami and commute. I mean, and the justice system in the States, that's another thing people say about this trial is that so often people with the money are ones that can afford to get the kind of support that's helpful to a person going up against the odds, to get out of trouble, basically. But this case has stumbled out on its head, and the rich people are falling. The rich people are not looking good to the public. They're not able to wiggle out of it. So it's kind of refreshing in that way somehow. But yeah, my opinion, her performance on this stand reeks of professional training, and I just wonder who is the person that is that coach, and how much do they charge, and how many hours did it take to produce this? Look at the way her mouth is held here. Her collagen-filled Botox lips. Her shiny, shiny nose. It's like looking at Rudolph. But, everything, her posture, her movement, her eye contact, every single thing about her demeanor, about her expression, her, sense of feeling is all trained. And not well, in my opinion. I mean, does this come across right to anybody looking at it? No, surely not.
One time at dinner, when I came home and my brother introduced me to her, and I think we might have gone to the beach once with her and a friend for a few hours.
Let me show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 36. Is that a photograph of you and Katherine Magbanua at the beach?
With her friend, yes,
Okay, and do you remember the friend's name?
I don't.
All right, is this a fair and accurate photograph from that event?
That looks like the three of us at the beach, yes,
Do you recall when this was taken?
I don't.
Okay, does Father's Day weekend 2014 sound correct?
So June 2014, that's
Yes, ma'am.
possible.
All right, would it refresh your memory to look at the data associated with that photograph?
Sure.
Take a look at this top block there that references this photo. Tell me if you can advise when the photo was taken.
It looks like it was taken on June 15th, 2014.
All right, and do you know where the photo was taken?
I think that's South Beach.
Close to where your parents were living in the condo?
Yes.
So Mary says, what about a lie detector test? What, for Wendy? Well, you know, the thing about lie detector tests is it's fairly widely known that they don't detect lies. They have no bearing on truth or falsehoods or anything, and that they're simply used as a prop to make a suspect believe that there's no longer any way out. And it's in the selling, you know, when the FBI or, you know, like with the Chris Watts case, you know, they come in and they say, hey, I'm the highest, I have the highest training in polygraphy that there is, and this is the best equipment. And the great news is that at the moment in this room, there's only one of us that really knows if you're telling the truth or lying. And in about 5 minutes, we're both going to know. And they spend hours and hours selling. It's a sales pitch designed to make the suspect believe that they have been caught by something that is rock solid. But it's not rock solid. That's exactly why it's not admissible in court. And it's only there as a prop to make the suspect go, oh, I've been beaten by the lie detector test. Oh, there's no way out, so I better confess. Because it'll be easier if I confess. You know? So I don't know what real good help that would do. Amy Albers, a new person to the channel. Welcome, Amy. And Amy says, is Wendy still a professor? I hope not. Well, I don't know. I think she's never really done any work anywhere she's been. She just sort of she gets into these oh, I'm going to write the book for the whatever. And you know, the last I heard, she was working for a startup as their chief executive something or other, you know, some kind of management position, high up, you know, board position. And it's just weird, isn't it? That someone like this I mean, you have to remember that she could walk around Miami or even Tallahassee, and a large amount of people wouldn't know who she is. You know, we all sit and watch this case for hours and hours and hours, but many, many, many people don't. And they just, it's when you get sucked into this community and this case, it's easy to not remember that many, many people have never heard of it, you know? For people like me and Rabbit and fancy fiction, it's taken over our lives to the point where we spend more time with Wendi Adelson than we do our own family members. But, you know, Mo and Joe, who are walking around Walmart right now, might have never heard of the case. So in some ways, I think it's crazy that she has a job or that anyone would have anything to do with her ever. But in other ways, you know, you have to remember that she's just a another random person. And there's probably some people around her that think she's really nice and kind and caring and sweet and genuine. It's pretty nuts, pretty dangerous. Makes you kind of wonder how many people that are in your own lives with some incredible dark past. What else we got here? Don't forget Charlie's jokes about Nazis. Their mum loves those. Yeah. Yeah, don't this family have like this obsession with Nazis? Like the letter from Donna to Wendi says, Charlie brought up a good point the other day. He said that during World War II, U.S. troops would drop behind enemy lines wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. If you brought the kids down here in Hitler youth costumes, I couldn't care less. It's crazy.
She was dating my brother.
Sir, objection. To be admitted.
Great comment, Lee. Lee says, no love lost between Wendi and Donna. It's so obvious. When it's so obvious. The calls after Charlie was convicted, she shared nothing with her mom regarding her love life. She got what she wanted from Donna and was done. Listen to her recorded podcast. Too true, Lee. And the other thing is that I believe that Wendi harbors a deep hatred, resentment, and need to punish her mother for, you know, probably blames her for putting her in such a position. Probably, you know, just like, because, you know, Donna has. Wendy's feeling full license to live the life that she's always wanted because she's always needed to tick the boxes of what is expected of her. Right? Whether it be the schools or the parents or the husbands, you know. And I believe that as time goes on, she will, you know, those boys, they're getting really of age now. I think, one of them was born in 2009, so he's 15, coming on 16. And the other was born in 2012, so, you know, they're going to be young men in no time at all. And You know, how much shielding can really be done as they become more and more independent? You know, who knows how much exposure they've had to what's on the internet about their family. But, you know, they will encounter people who know who they are, who know their father. And it's obvious that there will be a quest of curiosity. And the only question is, how brainwashed have they been? You know, how would you even go about brainwashing your children in such a way that would prevent them from seeking answers to questions that are asked by other people who know more because they haven't had these restrictions laid upon them? And I believe as that happens, Wendi will start to harbor more and more resentment to her own children. I'm amazed she hasn't killed them. I think if the FBI were closing in, she might, you know, just murder them. She's a dangerous, dangerous person, believe me. You know, it's like a ticking bomb. You know, one day she's going to be in cuffs. Is that going to happen before Donna's trial? I don't think so, because I think Wendi will be testifying in Donna's trial. That's too much of a big card for Georgia Kappelman not to play. But yeah, part of me thinks that Wendi is glad that Donna is in jail and that Charlie got convicted and all the rest of it. You know, she's a very hateful person and loves to have vengeance on people. Really gets a kick out of it.
I'm the one in the middle. The one on the left-hand side to the right of me in the photo. Yes. Yes.
Approach and show you one more photo. This is photo 37. Recognize this photo?
I don't recognize that photo, but I recognize the people in it.
Okay, who's in it?
That's my brother, and I think that's Katie.
Is Katie Katherine Magbanua?
Yes.
Is there an accurate photo of the two of them when, I guess, around the time that they were dating?
That looks right.
Judge, at this time I've asked to move on to 637.
Is there objection?
Yes, Your Honor, this witness is not able to properly authenticate that picture in terms of when it was taken and where it was taken. I would object. on that
Sustained.
basis.
Your brother dated Katherine Magbanua?
Yes.
Okay. And was that the context in which you became acquainted with her? Was through your brother?
Yes.
Do you know when they began seeing each other, your brother and Ms. Magbanua?
I have no idea.
Do you know when they stopped seeing each other?
I have no idea.
Do you know whether the relationship between your brother and Ms. Magbanua was a serious relationship?
I met many, many girlfriends of my brother's over the years. I didn't get any indication that it was a serious relationship.
Okay. He's a guy that has a lot of girlfriends.
He has had a lot of girlfriends.
How many girlfriends has he had since Katherine Magbanua?
I have no idea.
Several?
Probably.
And does he have a child with someone now?
He does have a child.
How old is your brother?
43.
Has he ever been married?
The whole Charlie having a kid thing really reminds me of Dahlia Dipper didn't do anything Delito. You know, what's her name? Dahlia Dippolito. You know, when she was on trial for hiring a hitman to kill her new husband, you know, of 6 months or something. And you know, you remember the one where the show Cops was in town and they set it up and the cops were waiting outside the house and they acted like the assassination had taken place. Ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you, your husband has been killed. Oh no! And then later they're like, yeah, he's not dead, and you're going to jail. Yeah, she had a kid in between her trial and retrial or something, you know, as a kind of like, oh well, you know, you can't take a child away from its mother, so you better let me off. Same thing with Charlie, I think, is just like, oh, if I have a kid, then that's a reason not to send me to prison. Well, sorry, man, you're going to jail forever. And we're taking all your stuff and putting it on eBay. Your Ferrari? Gone. Your Mercedes? Gone. Jet ski? Gone. General Isom's probably riding that jet ski right now. Across the swamp to the pig race. Eating a taco on the jet ski. Wiping the chili off his chin with his tie. Oh, General Isom. Gotta love him, huh? Can't wait to see him. Out of retirement. Back for the do you think he was gonna be in Donna's trial? I don't know, actually, you know, maybe not. It's gonna be a bit of a different witness list, you know? Who will be a witness that we haven't seen before? Probably going to be a few people from the dental office. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
No.
I really want to get past Georgia Kappelman now. It's all the same monotone stuff with Wendi here. I think we're almost done. Then we move on to, I think next is Christopher DeCoste, which is pretty good.
Do you know whether your brother makes a practice?
Oh no, sorry, this is 2019. So Tarek Awas is going to do Wendi this year. We have to wait until 2022 to see Christopher DeCoste. But that's the best, in my opinion, that's the best Wendi cross-examination. He really rattles her. It's fun. It's good. I like Christopher. He's good.
Of giving gifts to his former girlfriends?
I have no idea.
Are you aware of any specific gift he's ever given to a former girlfriend?
No.
Do you know Sigfredo Garcia?
No.
Have you ever met him?
No.
I want to ask you about the week prior to Mr. Markel's murder, like June 30th through July 10th, 2014. Were you in South Florida that week?
I know I was in South Florida for my father's 70th birthday. My dad's birthday is July 5th. I don't remember if his party was on his actual birthday or a little before or a little after, but I remember I went down for his birthday.
Can you tell the jury whether or not you were in South Florida on July 1st, 2014?
I couldn't say for sure.
Okay, but
I may have traveled that day. I don't remember exactly when I went down. I only remember I was there for probably about a week and then I went down for my dad's birthday, but I couldn't tell you more exactly than that.
Your dad's birthday's on.
Again, with the hypersexuality, she's used to using the phrase, I went down, you know. When she's talking to General Isom, she doesn't say, I got dressed. She says, I put some clothes on. Because she knows when she says that to a man, he pictures her naked. All of these linguistic, you know, You know, so some who was it? I think it was C. Malone said something about, yeah, she reminds of the girl in high school that you talked to and hoped to get a hand job off but never did, and then realized you never had a shot and it was all just a manipulation. You know, she's just so used to using these innuendos, and not even consciously, it's just second nature to her, like a hawk. Anyway,
On the 5th
It is.
What month?
Of July?
was Mr. Markel planning to leave town the day after he was murdered?
I believe he was.
Do you know where he was going?
I believe he was going to New York to visit his girlfriend.
And how old was Mr. Markel when he was killed?
He was born in 1972, and he died in July of 2014. Before his birthday's in October, he was 41.
41 years old.
Yes,
Did law enforcement in this case analyze your cell phone?
I gave them my cell phone.
Okay. And in your cell phone, you have
yeah, I gave them my cell phone right after I had it sent to Dell Computer so that they could check it was clean and wipe anything incriminating off there at all. And yeah, I gave them my cell phone. What?
some contacts for Donna Adelson, Harvey Adelson, and Charlie Adleson, as well as Gibbers, who we've established as Dan Markel.
Gibbers?
Are all the phone numbers in your phone for them accurate phone numbers for those folks?
I would imagine so.
And I want to ask you about some recorded phone calls that were taken in association with this case. Did you have an opportunity to review a disc of some of those phone calls?
I did.
Yeah, Wayne Cook, Lifetime TV psycho movie for sure. Oh, I think we can do a lot better than Lifetime. Did I share with anyone how I would like this movie to end? I would like this movie to end, right, in like 2032, when Luis Rivera is being released from his 19-year sentence. What year would that be? He was arrested 2016. So 2035. Okay, so we the whole movie plays, and then 2035, Luis Rivera is walking through the prison like Jake at the beginning of the Blues Brothers, and he's collecting his property, getting dressed in the clothes he came in with, and then he's walking through the gate, and outside is a car, and waiting in the car is, well, Luis Rivera gets in the car, and then the camera pans round, and in the driver's seat is Jeff Lacasse. And he says to Luis Rivera, "I thought you weren't going to get caught." I love that. I've always loved the idea, if this whole Adelson thing, the Adelson plot, wasn't the reality, and actually it was Jeff who was the mastermind and set the Adelsons up. Wouldn't that be incredible? That would be the best movie twist plot. The whole 2 hours takes you through these evil dentists and their sick family, and seeing the goodness of Jeff. It'd be like The Usual Suspects at the end, where Kevin Spacey doesn't have a limp anymore. You know what I mean? And he's Kaiser Soze. That would just be unreal. But yeah, maybe not Lifetime. I saw the Jodi Arias movie, which sucked, but I've still watched it like 3 times.
The phone calls weren't played.
I'm sorry, hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so I provided you with a disc, correct?
Yes,
And a list of the specific phone calls and the voices on the specific phone calls that I was asking you whether you could identify.
yes,
All right. And did you initial next to the letters of those calls that you were able to identify?
I did.
All right, I'm going to approach and show you States Exhibit 175.
I just wanted to clarify that we didn't listen to the phone calls from beginning to end for each one, but that we were able to listen to parts of the phone call so that we could authenticate who was speaking on the phone call.
Okay, and when you say we, who are you referring to?
Myself and my attorney.
Okay, so you listened to another phone call in order to be able to tell me whose voice was on the call.
That's right.
Okay, and when you initial next to the highlighted portions, okay, I guess I should say, the calls are listed by letter and number, each call, and then I have highlighted the names that I am asking you to authenticate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and if you've initialed next to that call, does that signify that you were able to authenticate that the highlighted names on that call were the voices of those people?
Correct.
Okay, so namely Donna Adelson and Charlie Adleson, correct?
Correct.
Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move into evidence states 175.
There's an objection from Ms. Magbaua, Judge. I
Your
can't,
legal objection.
Your Honor, I think it would require a speaking objection, so I'm not sure how you'd like to handle
State
it.
your legal objection.
The legal objection is going to be relevance at this point and take off the foundation.
All right, I'll overrule that objection. No, admit, State's Exhibit 175.
I want to talk about your location on the day of Mr. Markel's murder. You know that law enforcement looked at your phone and sort of looked at your movements that day?
Yes,
Okay. And that information indicates you were home at the Aqua Ridge residence at approximately 12:27 in the afternoon that day. Is that correct?
I don't remember exactly what time, but that sounds right. I know I had left to meet some friends for lunch. So I guess I had left, I was home until that time. That sounds right.
All right. So it seems like kind of around lunchtime, about half afternoon.
Sure.
All right. And then shortly after that at 12:29, it appears you were traveling on Centerville Road. Is that a normal way that you would ingress and egress from your Aqua Ridge residence?
That sounds right.
All right. And when you left your residence, you said you were going to lunch. Did you go directly to lunch?
No, I stopped and made a purchase for a party that I was supposed to attend first.
And what was that purchase?
It was my first time purchasing bourbon. It was for
What's funny about that? It was my first time purchasing bourbon. I've never bought bourbon. Yeah, well, no. Jack Daniels isn't bourbon. Is it? I don't think so. It's sour mash whiskey. Yeah, I've never bought bourbon in my life. I mean, who does? I mean, maybe it's bigger in the States. If you live in where do they drink that? The South? Okay, maybe. But why is she laughing at that? She's laughing because the area of questioning is, the things that she did: drive to the crime scene, buy the bourbon, look like shit to go to lunch, not wash her hands, the interview, which in retrospect was disastrous, and she's laughing the whole way through, flirting with the victim advocate. Jane, you know, oh, I didn't even think of Jeff. Oh, I hope to God not. Jealous, very jealous. He flew into a rage in Gainesville. He went through my phone. He was puffy. He was sweaty. He came in foaming at the mouth.
It was for not a bridal shower. It was for a bachelor. No, it was for a wedding party, but it was the bride and groom together, and they had asked for people to buy certain alcohol to help them.
Like a stock the bar party.
A stock the bar party. I forgot what
Yeah.
it's called.
Okay. And do you remember what type of bourbon you purchased?
I forgot what it was called because I wouldn't know anything about that kind of lewd and lascivious behavior. He doesn't speak to me about night clubbing.
Purchased?
I don't.
Does Bullet bourbon sound familiar?
Maybe. It was, they
Alright.
had a list of what they wanted, and so I asked the person at the store if they had whatever kind it was.
Okay. And do you recall where you went to purchase the alcohol?
I think I went on Thomasville Road at
So you're telling me, I mean, we know it was Bullet bourbon. I think it was actually rye, Bullet rye. You're telling me that you made that purchase on the day that your husband was shot in the face and his chin was blown to where his ear should be, that you've now forgotten what it was called? The name Bullet? Not gonna happen. Unreasonable. Ridiculous.
ABC Liquor.
Okay. Is there a reason you went to that particular store?
No, I don't know many liquor stores. That was the first one that popped up.
All right.
Okay, common knowledge, I'm sure everyone watching this video knows, but there's about 40 liquor stores that are closer. You know? Oh, I went down Centerville and then I usually take the cut through on Thomasville to go to Thomas, oh no, what is it called? Trescott Drive.
And you made that purchase according to the receipt that was in your vehicle at 12:49. Does that sound about right to you?
That sounds right.
Okay. And did you make any stops between leaving your residence and going to the liquor store?
Maybe I purchased gas?
I don't know if you did or not, but I'm referring to your visit to the crime scene.
I did not visit the crime scene.
You did not pull up to the crime scene tape on Trescott Drive?
No. I was driving on Centerville Road, and sometimes I would take the shortcut through Trescott.
Yes, ma'am.
But when I was driving on Centerville Road, I saw some sort of tape or obstruction, and so I didn't turn.
Okay. And then you went from the liquor store straight to the restaurant?
Yes.
All right. What restaurant was that?
What was the name of that restaurant?
It was Mosaic.
Mosaic.
Have you seen the photographs that were taken of your vehicle?
I have not.
But I did have a lot of Cheerios in the back seat. Okay, Sleeper Strength says, love the prosecution leaking bits of Wendi evidence out trial by trial that rattle the head of this snake. Hey, Sleeper Strength, that's poetry. I like that. And it is fun, isn't it? And I love the posturing that Georgia Kappelman achieves with Wendi. It's funny you should say snake, because What Georgia Kappelman is doing is almost like a boa constrictor just squeezing the rat. At first they feel a little bit trapped, but then bit by bit by bit, they realize they can't get out of this. And if they start to struggle, the grip gets tighter. Until finally, there's no way out, nowhere to go. And you are done. I mean, I cannot wait. It's going to be such amazing news to see Wendi Adelson. You know, are we going to get body cam footage of that? You know, all in all, I think Donna handled her own arrests pretty well. A lot of people were saying that she was relieved, you know, that this running and this fear that they're closing in was all over. And maybe there was a bit of that. But I think it was more just good old-fashioned arrogance. You know, still feeling untouchable, even when she's in cuffs, standing outside that big metal fence, waiting to go into the jail, you know, still feels superior. Amazing.
That looks like my car. That looks like bourbon, yeah.
Who had your kids the morning that Mr. Markel was killed?
The kids were at preschool.
But I mean, at what home did they wake up that day?
That morning, I think they were at Danny's house.
Did you stand to gain anything from your husband's death, like financially?
No.
Do you know how much the lawyers that assisted you with the divorce process and litigation that followed the divorce, do you know how much they cost?
How much my lawyers
How
or
much you
Danny's
spent on
lawyers?
lawyers? Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Fair to say it was a lot of money.
It felt like a lot of money to me.
How many different lawyers did you have during the pendency of your divorce and the litigation that followed?
I had 3.
Do you know how many Mr. Markel had?
I don't remember.
Doesn't 3 lawyers in a divorce case sound like peak lawyer? Like, does anyone have more than that? That is a team, right? That is a solid 3-head team. I mean, and she's a lawyer herself. I mean, isn't that 4 lawyers? That is a lot of lawyers. You know, I think if you're like Johnny Depp or Amber Heard, maybe you've got some more lawyers. But you know, well, at least Johnny Depp, I think you could say, is an A-list celebrity. Not so much Amber Heard. I'd never heard of her before that trial.
Do you remember your mom suggesting a plan to offer Danny $1 million to allow the relocation of you and the children to South Florida?
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
I'm sure I knew about it at the time that it happened. And then I had my memory refreshed about it recently.
Did you ever make the offer to Mr. Markel?
No.
Did you move to South Florida after?
I had my memory refreshed about it recently. So, I mean, it's a pretty big thing, right? I mean, if she were talking about on Christmas, 5 years ago, did you have an angel on top of the tree or a star? Okay, they're Jewish. They probably, well, actually, they they probably do have a. Do they? I don't know. Do they have a Christmas tree? The Adelsons? They're not really Jews, are they? So, um, but you know what I mean, though. Something like that. Be like, did your menorah sit in the east-facing window or the north-facing window 5 years ago? Then you could say, I don't remember, but I had my memory refreshed about it recently. But if the question is, did you offer your ex-husband $1 million to relocate to South Florida? How do you forget something like that? You don't. And again, throughout this whole video, I'm just repeating myself. Pre-prepared bullshit answers to questions that are serving some bizarre, hard to define purpose. There's better videos coming, guys. But how can we not cover this this testimony of Wendi Adelson? The bad news is we've got 2 more trials of her to go through. But personally, for me, after watching it so many times, I found it a little bit boring. The interrogation was much more dynamic and fluid and exciting because she was kind of thinking on her feet. This pre-prepared, studied testimony is just kind of flat. There's really not much to discuss, but we'll do it anyway.
After their father was killed with the children?
So after he was killed, I packed a weekend bag and went to South Florida for what I thought would be a couple of days, maybe a week. My son's birthday was July 29th, and I thought we'd be back in Tallahassee by then.
Did you
And
ever come back?
I did come back a few times, but not permanently.
Okay, so you ended up moving there permanently.
I wouldn't say it's permanent, but I'm living there right now.
Well, it's been 5 years.
It has been a while. I've been exploring options for employment in many different places.
And when you initially left to go to South Florida, was that the same day as the funeral service for your husband?
No,
Was it the day after?
it might have been the day after or the day after that. I don't remember.
Did you change your children's last name from Markel to Adelson?
I did.
When was that done?
So
Hey, interesting comment, Rabbit. Wendi has hatred of her mother for her own mother selling her, human trafficking her into married motherhood, and then Donna wanted the offspring as her own. Now, that small summary, as well as many other elements of this case, many other perceptions of elements of this case, feels like some kind of Greek tragedy, a myth, a mythology, a mythological situation that's one of those stories that, like Oedipus or Eurydice or Ulysses or Homer. It just has this strange thing You know, why do those stories exist? Well, they exist because they're looking at the human condition and trying to explore the strange and dynamic drives that can be within all of us. You know, what is it to be selfish? What is it to dismantle your own children? What, you know, it's interesting. And this whole, apart from Wendi Adelson actually looking and acting like Medusa, there's so much to, you know, like the snake hair woman that turns people to stone if they look at her. And Jeff Lacasse is like Perseus with his shield. You know? Yeah, I've always thought that this story, this epic epilogue has this ancient, you know, philosophical investigation nature. It's when are they going to make a film or a play or something? You know, but it's just never going to be as good. How do you put this story into a 2-hour piece? Maybe it should be like a series, like HBO series or something, full on 6 seasons. But even that, it wouldn't be as good as watching this.
After Danny died, there was a lot of press coverage, and CNN put pictures of my children's faces unblurred on national television. Newspapers put their names without any consideration to the fact that they're children. And
I
I thought,
appreciate that, but the question is when did you change their name?
when they started school, I registered them under my name, hoping it would keep them safe.
And
And
was
then
that approximately a year after their dad was killed?
it was whenever I registered Ben for school, so it was soon after. But I didn't legally change their name until after that.
Okay. And where did they start school? When you say you changed their name when they started school, was that here in Tallahassee or somewhere else?
No, it was in South Florida.
So that fall, they started regular enrollment like you would in the normal beginning of the school year.
That's right.
Okay. And did you also eliminate your
Wow, Rabbit, you corresponded with Mike DiPolito? Yeah, I'd love to see those emails. That'd be interesting to see. He had a pretty good statement, victim impact statement, you know, where he said, I went to prison. You know why? You know how I got there? Because I held my hand up. I said, I did it. Now let's get this sorted so we can take care of it. You know, and he was saying that she's still sitting there lying. She's still sitting there saying that this was all a reality TV show. Like, we're going to believe that? You know, he came across pretty noble there. And he got emotional when, you know, he couldn't see his father before he died. Which, whatever someone's done. And he did some real shady stuff, possibly with the mob, you know, boiler room sort of thing, you know, conning people out of money. It happens, you know. But there's a saying that people that are in that industry use to, you know, put themselves on to justify their moral, their compromised morals, is that it's impossible to con an honest man. You know, that Jordan Balfour, you know, selling that stuff, and some other movies, they're selling to people that want to get over on someone else. You know? So in some ways, it's like the hand of justice. Or you could just try not conning anyone. I mean, that'd probably be best for all involved. But yeah, Mike came across pretty well in the victim impact statement.
Older son's middle name,
When I legally changed their names, I did.
and you just dropped that from the name?
I did.
Okay. And that was a name that came from Dan Markel's deceased maternal grandmother, is that correct?
The name started with an A, which was to honor my grandfather, Aaron Adelson.
Okay, sorry for all the pauses, guys, but there's a couple of comments that we need to go through here. Rabbit says, Dan's friend Tamara, that's Tamara Demko, will be a yet unseen witness in Donna's trial. Possibly, because she went to the house and saw Donna and said that Donna was acting on point, you know, in line with the story, but Harvey wasn't. I don't know though. I'm not too sure if that will be relevant enough to see her called in Donna's trial. I think she will be in Wendy's, certainly, because she was yeah, but we're not there yet. I'd love to see more of Tamara though. She's fantastic, you know. I really think that her and Jeff should get together, you know. Spearheading the case between them, doing all the work that General Isom should have done. Jackie says, loves Georgia, but would love to see Sarah Dugan cross Wendi for Donna's trial. Sorry, Jackie, I don't think that's going to happen. You know, and I don't think it should, to be honest. Wendi belongs to Georgia. Georgia's worked Wendi hard. And I think it's only fair to Georgia that she eat Wendi alive. And I like Sarah Dugan. She did a really good job on Katie in her retrial. But most of the time, I think she does the more technical examinations. You know, she talks to the cell tower guy and the finance what do you call it, analyst, and stuff like that. She's more detail orientated, and Georgia's more raw southern, you know, bull by the horns kind of thing. You know, she's the tough cookie between them. I'm not, you know, I like Sarah as well, believe me, but Georgia's the stick. Yeah. Clarissa. She has a lot of tells. Yeah, I agree. But the thing is with Wendi is that she likes to give these tells on purpose. She loves the tightrope walking of you know, saying enough, giving enough tells to tell people that something's up, but not giving enough evidence that can be proven. And she's pretty well informed about the standard of proof that's needed to bring her to face justice. And she knows where that line is, and she dances right on the line, but hardly ever steps over it. But I think that might blow up in her face eventually. In fact, I'm certain of it. Lee says, the irony when Charlie says to Donna, all I ever wanted to do was be a father, when he's crying after his conviction, so cold and not getting it. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I think that's gonna be another thing I've been looking forward to, is going through the Charlie Adleson jailhouse phone calls. There's a lot of them to do. I think we might just pick one at random and see how we go. Maybe do a little series. I don't think I'm going to do every one. I don't think anyone really wants that, but a few might be nice. Some bonus material. They said, oh, Wayne Cook says, they said her phone had teacher student porn on it. Lol, poor Jeff. Yeah, yes. Teacher student porn, the clerk in the liquor store porn, the Best Buy service repairman porn. I mean, you know. But that's the thing with psychopaths, you know, they often are hypersexual. Ted Bundy.
And the second
Many
half
more.
of his name was to honor Danny's grandmother. So we lost an honor to both families.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Cross, Garcia.
Ms. Adelson, I represent Mr. Garcia, and I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
Charlie's your older brother or
I'm-
younger brother?
I'm the youngest in the family, so both my brothers are my older brothers.
And how many years older is Charlie than you?
He's approximately 3 years older.
Would you describe your relationship with your brother as a close relationship?
I would.
And the brother I'm referring to is Charlie. And just for the record, all the questions I have with regards to brothers is going to be focused just on your brother Charlie, okay?
Okay.
Charlie graduated high school,
He did.
college,
He did.
dental school,
He did.
so he has substantial educational background.
Yes.
Would you consider him to be book smart?
He did very well in his classes.
So that would potentially be a yes. What about street smart? Do you think he was kind of street smart?
I think he's good with people.
And would it be fair to say that he has a wide range of friends, different types of friends?
He has a lot of friends.
Would you say, well, are there certain friends that he goes out and like?
Now, I quite like Mr. Sanguinet in some ways. I think his opening statement where he was saying, you know, it's all Luis Rivera and not Sigfredo Garcia. I mean, with taking into account what he had to work with, I thought it was pretty good. Now, in general terms, as a lawyer, especially in this trial, he comes across as far less competent than anyone else. And if you see how Wendy's demeanor here has changed substantially, she's not afraid of this guy at all. I mean, she's playing with him like a little mouse. Doesn't matter. With Georgia, she was pretty guarded, pretty perceptive of the threats that were coming her way. But with this, she does not have a care in the world. Look at her, laughing along. Is he book smart? You know, she knows people that are actually book smart, you know, that have read Don Quixote and fucking, you know, can quote Beckett poems and, you know, but Charlie Adleson's not one of those guys. and he didn't do very well in his classes at all. In fact, I think he was almost kicked out of dental school for underperforming severely.
Night clubbing with?
I don't know. He doesn't talk to me about night clubbing.
He doesn't talk to me about night clubbing. Oh my God, night clubbing! Oh, how naughty! How naughty! Oh my gosh, in the clubs. He's in the clubs. We only talk about wholesome, good family things, not night clubbing things.
Well, when he has social events, do you ever go out with him socially?
I haven't in a long time. I'm pretty busy with my kids. But I have once or twice gone out with him.
And is it the same types of friends that he goes out to these social events with?
He would usually go with his roommate, who's, I don't think they're living together anymore, but they lived together for a while.
Would you agree with me that your brother Charlie was I don't want to call him like a socialite, but he would frequent the nightclub scene?
I honestly don't know that.
So your single brother is a pretty handsome guy, right?
I think he's handsome.
Right. We've seen his pictures. Good looking guy. Never been married, right?
No.
And what kind of car does he have?
For a while, what does he have? What is he driving right now?
Well,
He
let me-
likes
let me-
cars. Like
He has a lot of cars, right? And these aren't like Hondas or Toyotas. They're Mercedeses and Ferraris, right?
he drove an unmarked police car for a while.
But that wasn't my question. My question was, did he ever have a Mercedes?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and it wasn't like a C300. It was like a 5 Series, right?
I honestly don't know anything about cars.
Well, it was the bigger Mercedes, right?
It was big.
It was the bigger one. And he also had a Ferrari, right?
I know he had one really fancy car, but I don't remember what brand it was.
So you're telling this jury that you don't remember if your brother had a Ferrari?
Cars are really not important to me. You saw mine. I drove a minivan.
Oh, I drive a minivan. I'm a simple woman, a single mother in a minivan. Look at her. Is that duper's delight, or, and I heard someone say that she is so vague about cars because she wouldn't want it said that she told Charlie what Jeff drives so that he could organize for the hitmen to hire a car that looks like his. Jeff drove a Nissan Sentra and the killers had a Toyota Prius, which, don't look that similar. The Prius is a pretty distinctive shape, and a Nissan Sentra looks kind of like it, I guess. I mean, they're both Japanese. They're both sort of triangles. They're not. I wouldn't mistake them. Anyway, yeah, I think that theory was a bit of a reach, to be honest. I don't know why. This is the thing with Wendy. You don't know what she's doing, and she likes it like that. And she loves to grin as well, doesn't she? Look at this face. I drive a minivan. Oh my God. In the nightclubs. Oh, the nightclubs.
Well, but you're not your brother, right?
I am not my brother.
And
No,
you-
I knew he had a fancy car. I just don't remember if it was a Porsche or if it was a Ferrari. It was something fancy.
Something kind of fancy,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So you have a pretty successful brother, right?
He's successful. Yeah.
And he likes to show off his success with his extravagant cars, correct?
He likes fancy cars.
Okay. Handsome guy, in good shape, right?
He's handsome.
And you indicated that he had a lot of girlfriends, right?
Yes.
Now, I know you didn't go clubbing with him, but were you aware that he would go to like Miami Beach a lot
I mean,
or South Beach?
sure. I mean, I couldn't say how often he went out or where he was going. It's just not something I would really talk to him about.
When your brother took you out to dinner and you vomited, do you remember what the restaurant was?
I do.
Which restaurant was it?
It's called Uvia.
Okay, where's that located?
It's on Lincoln Road.
Okay, and Lincoln Road's in South Beach, right?
Lincoln Road is in South Beach.
Are you aware if your brother took steroids?
No, I'm not aware if he took steroids.
What about if your brother used illicit drugs?
I'm not aware of my brother using illicit drugs.
And the fact that you're not aware if he used it doesn't mean he didn't use it, correct?
No, I'm just saying I don't know.
Do you know when Luis Rivera started serving your brother drugs?
I don't know anything about that.
Your brother would frequent South Beach and Miami Beach sometimes, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? The restaurant that he took you to was in South Beach, correct?
I was living close to that restaurant at the time.
And your parents had a home in South Beach also, correct?
My parents did not have a home in South Beach. They were renting an apartment.
I'll rephrase it. They had a place to stay in South Beach, correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Magbanua.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Adelson.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today? You doing okay?
I'm fine.
You nervous?
Am I nervous?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm nervous.
Okay. Now you state
Gah. What can you say about that? Am I nervous? Yes, I'm nervous. I mean, I just wouldn't be. I wouldn't be taken in by this woman at all. I'd really like to speak to like 5 people that that can be under this spell of this woman, and there's a lot. Most of the people in her life lap this shit up, and I'd really want to speak to those people and find out what is their fear and motivation, because there must be some common thing between them that this works on. And I don't think any of us studying this trial are those people. And the judges, I don't think any of the 3 judges, Wheeler, Hendrickson, and what was the black judge for Charlie's, Everett, Stephen Everett. He was pretty good, isn't he? I love that bit where he was like, and if any members of the jury brought a red velvet cake without enough to share, powers of contempt will be exercised. Did anyone see the Tampa trial? What was his name? What was his Trevor Summers, with Judge Christopher Sabella. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's like every day the jury would have pizza ordered for them, and Judge Sabella's a really big, he's fat, he's big guy, And he'd say, "Okay, just stop the trial. The jury's pizza's here." You know, like he was caring for the jury, but you just know that he had 2 extra large stuffed crust cheeses on his desk in chambers waiting for him while recess was, it was like, but he acted like it was for the interest of the jury. But that man likes his pizza fresh off the oven, man. And he'd ask these questions like he was asking serious questions. He'd go like, okay, and and how many members of the jury had the Cuban sandwich for lunch? It's National Cuban Sandwich Day in Tampa, and I had to look up what a Cuban sandwich was, and I was impressed. That looks fantastic. If is that a big thing in the States? Cuban sandwich. And there's a National Cuban Sandwich Day. That should be a global event. It looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's like if there was one sandwich in the world, it should be Cuban.
Stated on direct examination that you are a lawyer,
I am a lawyer.
right? So you understand that the oath that you took before you took the stand, correct?
Yes,
You know the consequences of not being truthful here,
of course.
and you also have a separate obligation as an attorney to tell the truth, right?
Of course.
Now, do you know who killed Dan Markel?
No,
Did your brother have anything to do with killing Dan Markel?
I don't believe so.
Your mother is Donna Adelson.
She is.
Where is she right now?
Right now, she's with my children
Not in Tallahassee.
in Miami.
Okay, she's not in jail.
Love Tara's voice. Not in Tallahassee. But does it work in for a Tallahassee jury? Apparently not. Fast talking liberal Miami head over here. But not in Tallahassee. She's got this classic way of speaking that lawyers do, but also this Caribbean accent. It's fantastic.
Jail?
No,
She's never been arrested before?
no.
Okay. She's not even testifying in this case, is she? To
No.
your knowledge?
She's not even testifying in this case. Pandim Reader Place Flavor. Jamaican bobsled team. Cool runnings, man. She's fantastic. Sparky.
To my knowledge, no.
What about your brother Charlie? Is he in Miami right now?
He's probably in Fort Lauderdale right now.
Okay, but he hasn't been arrested,
No,
hasn't been charged,
no,
and he's not testifying in this case, is he?
no.
Are you aware if the state has attempted to subpoena them to come to court?
I believe they have received a subpoena to come to court.
Okay, and it was for them to come and testify in this trial, or you don't know?
I don't know for certain.
Amy Albers says, what's crazy is the hate she still has towards Dan even after he's dead. Yeah, and remember, his parents are front row in the gallery, and she sticks the knife in their chests. Not so much in this testimony, but there's other examples in the next Katie trial and the Charlie trial where she is just absolutely, what is the word? More than disparaging. It's just real low blows. She really tramples over the name of Professor Markel and his parents.
Okay, but you know they've received some form of subpoena.
I heard about that.
When is the last time you spoke to your family? Your mom in particular?
This morning I called to check in on the boys.
Okay, how is your relationship with your parents now? Is it estranged in any way, or you still have a good relationship with your parents?
I still have a good relationship.
What about your brother Charlie?
I still have a good relationship.
When is the last time you spoke to Charlie?
Probably last week at some point.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned that Charlie is a father.
He is.
When did he have his child? Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Okay.
He was born in December 2017.
So about, I would say that's over a year after Miss Magbanua's arrest.
I couldn't say.
Okay. Do you know who the mother of that child is?
I do.
Who is she?
You want her name?
Yes.
Her name is Bree Price.
Okay. And is he married to her now?
He's not married.
Are they still together?
Depends on the day.
And do you know if he has any other girlfriends at this
I
point?
have no idea.
Have you been keeping up with the media coverage in this case?
I don't watch any media related to this case.
Okay. So, but you are aware of the attention that has been brought on this case?
I'm aware only because of the constant death threats that I receive, yes.
Okay. So just to specify, you haven't watched any of the specials that have been on air about this case?
I have not watched any of them.
Do you know if your parents have watched any of the specials on this case?
I advise them not to. They may have seen bits of them, but I don't know for certain.
What about your brother Charlie?
I don't know.
Did you watch the state's opening statement in this case?
I did not.
You did not.
I did not.
So you're not aware of what the state's theory is in this case?
I'm not.
Now, you mentioned on direct examination something about listening to some recordings that the state provided to you.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the first time you've ever listened to those recordings?
Yes.
Do you know what those recordings are about?
There are many, many recordings.
Okay. Did they give you all of the recordings?
I don't know. I listened to what I was given, but I don't know if there's more.
How much time did it take you to listen to the recordings that you were given?
Again, I didn't listen to the entire thing, so probably about an hour to go through all of the recordings and listen to excerpts of each of them.
Of each of them. So you're not aware if the state gave you all of the recordings that they provide, that they have in their possession?
I have no idea.
Okay. Did they have you listen to any recordings that occurred before April 19th of 2016?
I don't-
Sorry, 2016.
So I'd have to see the document to remember the exact date on it. I do remember my birthday's in April, so I remember the dates being close to that, but I don't remember exactly.
Did they ask you to listen to the phone call where Charlie Adleson is talking to Miss Magbanua about work?
I listened to something.
Same.
So it's fair to say that they only let you listen to portions of the phone calls that they think are important.
I was given conversations and I listened to some of them to authenticate voices, but I don't know. I imagine they thought it was important for me to listen. That's why I did.
Did you listen to a phone call?
Ask your question, don't answer, so rule, please. ma'am. Let's go that way.
Dalia Dippolita. It was a script. How do I do that? It was a script. A script. It was a script. A script. How would you describe yourself in 3 words? Sweet, precious, and considerate. Yeah. God. And how would you describe yourself in 3 words that don't contain any S's?
Needed to wake y'all up. Go ahead, Ms. Clark.
So the question was, Ms. Adelson, did they have you listen to any phone calls where it was a conversation between your brother and your mother, if you were able to identify any conversations like this?
I think I did yes.
Now, I want to talk about the circumstances surrounding your actual divorce,
Okay,
which I believe you said was finalized in 2013, right?
yes,
You just left your divorce papers on a mattress of Dan Markel in the house and left town. Is that correct?
no.
How is it that you delivered the divorce papers to him?
I called him to let him know that I wanted a divorce. It wasn't the first time I asked for a divorce, but it was the last time. And told him that I would see him when he got home. Not home, but back to Tallahassee. And then I did leave the papers for him, but I didn't leave town. I was still in Tallahassee.
Okay. So he was actually aware of that you were going to be seeking a divorce before you actually delivered the papers to him?
I had asked for a divorce several months earlier.
Okay.
That's when we started going to counseling. And he told me that if I tried to get divorced from him, that I could leave with the clothes on my back and that he would take the kids and that I would be penniless.
Lying. I mean, can you imagine Professor Markel saying that? If you leave me, you can leave with the clothes on your back, and I'm going to take the kids, and you'll be penniless. It's just out of the realm of possibility. It's complete fantasy, and it just never happens. It's designed for shock. It's designed for sympathy. It's designed to be something that can't be proven either way. It's designed for even against the people who'd say, listen, like Tamara, we know Dan really well, and we know that he'd never say something like that. And to that, the argument can always be, you don't know what happens behind closed doors. But, you can just, she gives herself away. Because when she has these safety nets, these arranged safety nets so that she can say, you don't know what happens behind closed doors, she displays this extra confidence in what she's saying. She knows there's no way to prove against that. She knows that there are plenty of people who would consider themselves reasonable, Jane being one of them. Jane, what's her last name? I forget. The one who came and suggested Jeff after their long walk in the park following Gainesville, when Jeff went into a rage, looking through her phone, red and puffy.
And so when I actually asked for a divorce, I thought it best not to be there.
So is it fair to say that this was not a mutual thing between the two of you, that Danny did not want a divorce?
I don't think he wanted to get divorced.
How close is your brother's relationship?
Yeah, what gave him away, Wendy, when he showed up and got on his knees in the street with a bouquet of flowers and begged you to stay? Was that what tipped you off that he didn't want to get divorced? You can leave with the clothes on your back and be penniless, even though you and your parents are millionaires. Unbelievable.
Relationship, Charlie Adleson, with your mother, Donna Adelson?
I think they're close.
Would you characterize a relationship as closer than you are with your mother?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I do think they talk more frequently than I do, but I don't think closeness always has to do with the frequency of communication.
And you had said on direct that your parents were not happy with Dan Markel's behavior during the divorce.
No, they didn't think he was treating me well.
And is this just Donna Adelson, your mom, or was it both Donna and Harvey Adelson?
I'm sure both of my parents felt that way.
Did they ever express those feelings to you?
Yes,
Did they call in names?
yes.
Okay. Did one parent do that more than the other, or it was consistent between the two?
I think it was consistent between the two.
Okay. What kind of names did they call them?
I honestly don't
I mean, I've
remember.
had my memory recently refreshed, so
Yeah, I stepped into the refreshing memory machine and it zapped me. Dr. Zap refreshed my memory in the memory refresher. What does that mean? Like that she was looking through this enormous, ledger of name calling. Did she call him a fucker? I love the bit in Charlie Adleson's trial where George is making him laugh by swearing in court. It's fantastic. We're going to get to that, guys. We're going to do all of Charlie Adleson's testimony, direct and cross, and redirect. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be more fun than this. I haven't had a very good time on this video, guys, to be honest. It's the same stuff all the way through, and it's going on a bit too long. I thought this would be a fun video to do, but it's not been that great. So thanks for sticking with the video, guys. Great comments coming in tonight. Great comments, some good ideas, some fresh ideas. Nice to see some new faces too. And yeah. Any ideas or requests for video, guys? Just put them right down in the comments, and yeah, it'd be good to know what you guys. Any certain witnesses you'd like to see? Any videos? Let us know in the comments. Like, share, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Use your common sense. Subscribe.
saw things, but my memory is, I don't remember name calling, but I did recently see emails where they called him names.
Now, after the divorce, you started dating
I did.
other people, right? When is it that you had your first, I wouldn't say serious boyfriend, but your first boyfriend after Dan Markel?
Probably within a month.
Okay. When did he, if you know, did he start seeing anybody else after the divorce?
He did, but I don't know when it started.
And is that Amy or was it some other person?
I know about Amy, but I don't know if there were other people before Amy.
Did you know what, at the time of the murder, do you know what, if any, future plans Dan Markel had?
I couldn't really say about his future plans, but I felt like by then he and Amy were pretty serious and he was trying to spend as much time in New York as possible.
Do you know if his intention was to, and it's only if you know, it was his intention to remain in Tallahassee, or do you know if he was planning to leave the state?
I think he always planned on leaving Tallahassee. It was just a question of when.
Okay. Do you know why? Did he have an aversion to Tallahassee, or
No,
just?
it wasn't an aversion to Tallahassee. He was a very ambitious person. And
Mhm.
so from the moment we arrived in Tallahassee, he was always looking for a stepping stone toward a better university where he could teach.
And he took a very special interest in what he did, which is, he's a law professor.
Right.
He graduated from Harvard, and he studied criminal law.
Right. That was his specialty.
Okay. And did there come a time where you were dating someone by the name of Jeffrey Lacasse?
Yes,
You know who that is?
I do.
Do you remember when you started dating Jeffrey Lacasse?
I don't remember exactly, but 2013.
Okay. Do you remember how long you dated him for?
I remember it was less than a year, but probably more than 6 months.
Were you dating him at the time leading up to the homicide, which would be July 18th, 2014?
We broke up a few weeks before Danny was killed, or a week or so. We broke up before Danny was killed.
How would you describe your relationship with Jeffrey Lacasse?
I mean, I think it took different turns. I think it was more casual in the beginning, and then it was getting more serious. And then
Yeah, it was more casual for you.
I was feeling more committed to the relationship. And then in late June, we had this big fight. And after that point, I didn't really want to be with him anymore.
Do you know what the fight was about? Do you
I do.
remember?
I remember what the fight was about.
What was it about?
He didn't trust me.
In terms of
He
seeing
thought
other people?
he thought I was cheating on him.
Okay. And you said you broke up. When was that?
We broke up. It would have been one of the last weekends in June.
So fairly close to when the homicide occurred.
Right.
Now, that spring break, which would have been the month of March,
Hmm.
didn't you and Jeffrey Lacasse come down to Miami?
We did.
Okay. And you stayed with your brother, Charlie?
We did.
Okay. And do you know at that time who he was dating?
I don't.
Okay. Does it sound, if I say that was when he was dating Katherine Magbanua, is that a correct statement, or you don't remember?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember having dinner with Jeffrey Lacasse at a restaurant and with your brother, and that Katherine Magbanua was there?
I have a vague recollection of it.
Okay. And do you remember if this restaurant had outside seating?
We always used to go to the same restaurant, and so I know the restaurant, it has outside seating.
Okay. And when you met Katherine Magbanua, Charlie introduced you to her as his girlfriend?
Probably.
Okay.
Definitely as someone he was seeing, right? I don't remember if he used the term girlfriend, but in a romantic kind of way,
Okay.
not as just a friend.
And am I characterizing Mr. Charlie Adleson correctly when I say, you had said he has lots of girlfriends?
I've met lots of girls over the years, which is why it's hard to remember whether I had dinner with one person versus another.
Do you know what his thoughts and beliefs are in marriage? Does he not believe in marriage?
I don't think he's so pro-marriage, no.
Do you know how many times you met Katie? We talked about the time on the beach, and then we've already now talked about dinner.
I remember vaguely those two. I don't remember any other time.
Do you remember the name of the person that was in that picture with you?
No,
Okay. Does Yindra Velasquez Mascaro sound familiar?
no.
Now, you didn't have a really close relationship with Katie, right?
No,
Okay. Did you know that Katie has 2 kids?
I did.
Remember, Miss Clovis, we're not gonna get it both first names.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge, I apologize. Did you know that Miss Magbanua had children?
I did know that.
Okay. Did you ever discuss with Miss Magbanua the details of the divorce that you had before she even knew who your brother was?
That wouldn't be possible because I only met her with my brother.
Okay, so you didn't talk, your relationship wasn't a close relationship where you would talk to her about Dan Markel.
No,
Do you ever remember having a conversation with Miss Magbanua about Dan Markel and your divorce?
It's very possible that I brought it up,
Mhm.
but not,
Nothing stands out.
no, not at all.
Now, I want to talk to you about the time of the murder, okay? The day before the homicide, all right?
Okay,
You had talked about your custody situation with Dan Markel, that it was a week on, week off. Is that correct?
that's right. at
And an
that time.
overnight stay switch on a Wednesday.
That's my best memory.
So a better way to describe it would be, if it's your week, you have the boys, but on Wednesday night, they will sleep at Dan Markel, do an overnight sleepover at Dan Markel,
Right.
and then return them to you the next day.
Or return them to school and
Or
then,
And then you pick them up in the evening.
right.
So the day of the homicide, do you remember what day of the week that was?
I believe it was Friday.
Okay, so the day before would have been a Thursday.
Right.
Okay, do you remember what you were doing that day?
I don't.
Is there any way that you would have been walking down Trescott Drive with your two sons the day before his murder?
No, I don't live in walking distance, so there's no reason why I would have been walking down the street. No.
You and Mr. Markel weren't on that kind of talking or speaking terms where you would be at the Trescott home and he wasn't there.
No,
Okay, you wouldn't go and take the boys for a walk on Trescott Drive.
I don't think so, no.
And as far as you knew at that time, the kids, what school were they attending?
They went to creative preschool.
Okay, and when you would drop the kids off at Creative Preschool, do you have to sign them in?
You do have to sign them in.
Okay, and then, so there should be a record of the days that the boys would have been at the preschool.
That's right.
What time would you drop the boys off? Do you remember?
I
Is it an early morning thing or?
I would drop them off in the morning. I don't remember, maybe it was 8, maybe it was 9.
Oh, but nothing late, like 11.
I don't think so.
And then what would be the usual time you pick them up in the afternoon?
I think it would depend on whether I was teaching or if I had court, what I was up to, but my guess is sometime between 3 and 6, I would pick them up.
So would it be fair to say that, you know, around 11 o'clock in the morning, the boys would probably be in school on a weekday?
That would be right.
Do you know someone by the name of Whitney?
I do know Whitney.
Who is Whitney?
Whitney was a girlfriend of my brother's.
Okay. Do you know who introduced Charlie to Mr. Adelson to Whitney?
I don't.
Do you know how long they were dating?
I don't.
Do you remember when they started dating?
I don't remember when they started dating.
Okay. When did your brother buy you that TV?
I remember having the TV in the house on Aqua Ridge. So sometime after the fall of 2012. Sometime between 2012, 2013, something like that.
Do you remember making a phone call to Charlie that morning and having a conversation with him without going into the details of that conversation?
Which morning?
The morning of Danny's murder.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Judge. Mr. Markel's murder. Do you remember how long you spoke for?
I don't remember how long I spoke for.
Now, you had described your brother as a talker. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think I described him as more of a joker than
Joker.
a talker, but he does
you-
talk.
Do you remember the circumstances under which he made that statement that the state talked about?
Yeah, he's a talker, he's a joker, he tells racist, homophobic jokes all the time, and, you know, it's complete, just loves the sound of his own voice, you know, and he repeats himself, you know. You listen to the Jailhouse Calls, and, you know, we need to go through a couple of them and just have like an alarm, a buzzer every time he says, "I should have gone with my gut. My gut was telling me to go, and I should have gone with my gut. My magic gut." Charlie Adleson and his magic clairvoyant gut told him to go to a non-extradition country. I think what he's really saying there is, he wanted to flee. And the family, Donna, Harvey, maybe Wendi just removed herself from all further conspiracies pretty quickly. That's my hunch. But the Donna particularly, because and Harvey probably as well, was like, listen, Charlie, if you flee to Israel or Morocco or Vietnam, that's going to be bad for us. Now, we're going to get Josh Dubin for $1 million. So don't worry about it. Even if you get arrested, we're going to get you out. We're the Adelsons. You think we're going to let Tallahassee, Georgia Kappelman shit all over us? Not going to happen. So when he's saying to his mother, I should have gone with my gut, he's like, I should have fled. I knew I should have fled. This is your fault. And he's really mad at Wendi. I mean, he's so, he's so like, it was 1,000,000 to 1 that she would drive down that street on that day at that time. And that's why I am in jail for the rest of my life. But I mean, he might as well just say that, because he alludes to it so much that it's clear. And Donna doesn't know what to do. She's all like, Dan Rashbaum did such a great job. You were perfect on the stand, Charlie. They didn't listen. They couldn't understand. Tallahassee.
About hiring a hitman, but instead I got you this TV. Who else was around when this statement was made?
Well, he tends to repeat himself. So he kept repeating that joke because he thought it was funny.
Okay, but do you remember the time frame of when that happened? Like, was this way before, during the course of your divorce, or was this after?
It would have been when he bought the TV.
When he bought the TV. And that would be after the divorce.
Well, not after I filed for divorce, right? But
Okay.
not after the divorce was finalized. So sometime after, I really don't remember when I got the TV, but maybe sometime after, starting with the fall of 2012, sometime around then, but it could have been 20.
Okay, Carrie B says, if Donna testifies, she won't be able to hide her seething anger and hatred for Danny. Wow, yeah. That's going to be a sight to behold. And does anyone think that she won't testify? I think she's going to testify, and I think it's going to be amazing. Georgia Kappelman is going to have so much fun.
Do you know, now your parents' apartment on South Beach, are they still living there?
No,
Okay, so they moved.
they did.
At the time, do you know how much their rent was in that apartment?
I have no idea.
You said they did not own that property?
No.
Okay. And now you said that you stayed in Tallahassee after the homicide.
I stayed for a few days.
Okay. And do you recall if Detective Isom tried to call you
After I had left,
before you left Tallahassee, but after the memorial service for Mr. Markel?
he did not call me before I left Tallahassee. No.
Okay. Did he try to call you?
He called me when I was already on the road,
Okay.
about 4 hours away from Tallahassee.
All right. Did he ever try to talk to you again?
No.
As a prosecution? When is the first time the prosecution reached out to you to speak to you about what happened?
I don't remember ever talking with the prosecution.
Let's go sidebar.
proceed, Your Honor? Okay. Do you know if Detective Isom ever,
Hey, YouTube Reply says now she's repping the OnlyFans killer. Do you mean that that entitled blonde girl who stabbed her boyfriend, the black guy, in the chest or threw a knife at him or something? Is that the one you mean?
try to reach out to your parents?
I don't think he did.
Do you know if Detective Isom ever tried to speak to your brother Charlie?
I don't think he did.
Now, you are testifying today under a state subpoena, correct?
Correct.
And that state subpoena gives you immunity for your testimony, right?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jury, since you're an attorney, what immunity is?
Immunity is freedom from prosecution.
So that means that anything you say today can't be used against you if the state decides to arrest you later on.
The state isn't going to decide to arrest me.
Do you know if they consider you a suspect?
The state isn't gonna decide to arrest me. I believe in our justice system. I've done nothing wrong. Yeah, Jodi Arias, what was it? No jury will convict me. And then they play that for the jury. Yeah. That wasn't the best move, was it? No jury will convict me, and you can mark my words on that. But I gotta tell you, man, like, as horrific as that Jodi Arias testimony was, all 19 days of it, it's got to be the longest ever. As horrific as it was, I don't think there was. It could have almost worked. That case was fascinating. I think it'd be a seriously long haul to get into that one, but there are some really good moments, and the fiery cross-examination by Juan Martinez is very, very good. Very good TV. Very good watching. And Jodi, you know, you got a crazy Jodi. I mean, it is something to watch. But that's a case for another time of the year.
I don't know.
Now, the life insurance policy that the state was asking you about, have you received any money from the life insurance policy from Mr. Markel?
I don't know if maybe in the beginning, the life insurance that Danny owed me about $100,000 when he died. I do think that his family made that disbursement. I don't know if they paid that through the life insurance policy, but other than that, there's been the life insurance policy is money put away for the kids. I've never seen it.
Do you have access to that, or you have no control over
I
that?
have no control over that.
All right, and I have, where did you say, so your boys are now down in Miami with your mother, correct?
At the moment, yes.
And you stopped letting Danny's parent or Mr. Markel's parents see the boys, is that correct?
2 years after Danny died, I stopped visitation.
Okay, do you have any intention of letting them see their grandchildren again?
I do. We've actually been in discussion the last few weeks.
No further questions, Judge.
Redirect.
times have Dan's parents been able to see your boys in the last 5 years?
In the last 2 years after they died, they've been able to see them every time they've asked to see them.
Okay, what about the last 3 years?
Since 2016, they have been.
I think we just need to give huge, wonderful, glorious credit to Georgia Kappelman's stance on this direct examination and redirect, because it is such a fine art what she's doing. She can't go too deeply into things. She needs her to keep her ammunition. She wants to put pressure, but she needs to be polite. It's a little bit that way, a little bit this way. It's just the perfect game she's playing, and she does such a good job at it. You know, they say lawyers don't ask any questions that they don't know the answers to. Well, there's been no opportunity for deposition. There's been no introduction, interview, nothing. When this is the first time they're speaking. So I believe that there are questions Georgia is asking that she doesn't know the answers to. And she's still asking all good questions and painting a picture. You know, for this trial, the Sigfredo and Katie trial, what is that picture for the jury? Well, the picture is that Wendy's involved. And if Wendy's involved, Charlie's involved, Donna's involved, Katie's involved, and Sigfredo's involved. And, you know, standing on that alone wouldn't be enough. But with Luis Rivera's testimony as well, done deal. But it wasn't a done deal. You know, Katie got a mistrial in this. A hung jury and had to go to a retrial. You know, that was a bit of a fuck up. That probably cost another $3 or $4 million to put on the next trial as well. So, but you know, they got to do it, and that's what public money's for.
Not been permitted to see the boys.
They have not been permitted
That's right.
by you,
By me, yes.
right? And that's not through lack of trying on their part.
No, that's because of what they did.
Okay, but they want to see those boys, don't
They
they?
very much want to see the boys.
All right. And Dan Markel's sister is the, I'm not sure if this is the right word, but the executor of that trust for the boys. Is that right?
I think she has fiduciary responsibility over the trust for the
All
boys.
right, thank you. That sounds right. Did you at one time hold that position in Dan's will?
Oh, before we got divorced, I probably did.
Okay, but sometime after the divorce, he changed that over to the sister.
He must have, yes.
Okay. And did you initiate proceedings to try to fight that decision that he made to make the sister the executor or the beneficiary, have the fiduciary duty for this money over you, for the disbursement to your children?
Can you repeat can you
Okay,
rephrase the
so
question for
did
me?
you initiate any type of proceeding at any point to try to contest or
Hey, thanks a lot, Heather. What a nice comment. We love you too.
fight Dan Markel's sister being appointed as this fiduciary for the life insurance for the boys?
I don't believe that I did.
You did not.
I don't remember doing that, no.
No further questions.
I need your other question of this question. If you do, write it down. We'll go sidebar.
Yeah, Amy Bowen says, what about the text Donna sent to Wendy the morning of the murder? The repairman is coming to fix the repairman is coming today to fix the TV in your living room. Weird to say in your living room, isn't it? You know, that's where the TV normally is, right? In the living room. Okay, maybe she has more than one. But even so, how many of them are broken? What's that about? What is that about? If we break that down, so we know this whole thing is code. Is it some code? If she wanted to convey another message, would she have said the TV in your kitchen? Would that mean something else? I don't know. Okay, we might as well go through the jury questions, people, and then we're shutting down the lights. But remember, like, share, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Use your common sense. Yeah, Malone. C. Malone, stock the sidebar party. The judge has got under his desk full shelf of bullet bourbon. 50 bottles of the stuff ready to go. YouTube reply says, no way they'll let Donna testify. She's an emotional loose cannon. Yeah, well, ultimately it's her decision. There's no let in it. They can advise strongly, but if she says she's going up, she's going up. That's how it works. And one thing we know about Donna is she's immune to good advice, and she is so much of a loose cannon that she's not going to be told what to do, even by good Jewish boy Daniel Rashbaum. I think we'll see her on the stand, and that's going to make my year. Amy Bowen, yeah, Courtney Clenny. That's the OnlyFans one. And man, have you seen that video of her beating that guy in the elevator? What a nightmare. You know? What a nightmare woman. Stabs him in the chest. Completely drunk. Yeah. Wayne Cook. When Georgia is questioning Charlie on the stand 2023, she overlooked something. We'll wait until he's sure. Yeah, we got that one coming up. Maybe this week. I don't know if we're going to do... Like, it's hard to know how to group these videos sometimes. I think we're going to do, like, Wendi Adelson testimony series, all 3 trials. Luis Rivera testimony series. We started off the Jeff Lacasse one. I think we're going to group them like that. Then get on to the Charlie. Well, we're not going to... Yeah, we'll just mix it all up. Mix it. Maybe I'll put all of the videos in a hat and just pull out video title every day and do that video.
Ms. Adelson, I don't remember what it related to exactly. I mean, I remember you saying this, and one of the jurors had a question about, you said your memory had been refreshed about something. What did you mean by that?
So over 5 years have passed since Danny died. And
Speak to them.
sorry. So more than 5 years have passed since Danny died. And a lot of the things that we're talking about today, I just don't remember at all. And so to refresh my memory, to make sure that I could remember things, certain documents were shown to me, emails, legal pleadings from the case, so that I could remember what was happening at that time.
One of the jurors was a little confused with the timing. You had said you had a boyfriend and that it was not clear to them whether you said it was a month after your separation and filing for divorce or a month after it was finalized.
Sure. So I started dating someone who was a friend of mine for many years, and it didn't become romantic until after I had filed for divorce. So about a month after I filed for divorce, someone who was a friend in my life became more like a boyfriend than a friend.
Okay. What was wrong with the television that had to be repaired?
100% she was already seeing him before she left the house. 100%. And probably 12 other guys.
I think one of my kids might have thrown something at it, so there was a crack in the TV.
And why have Mr. Markel's parents not been allowed to see the grandchildren?
Well, they were allowed to see the grandchildren for 2 full years. And I used to cook meals for them and arrange play dates. We had sleepovers. And then I found out that, that Ruth Markel had reached out to a foster care agency to try to place my children with that agency. And I became very worried that they were trying to take my children away from me. And so after that time, I didn't feel a level of trust that they could spend time with the kids. I was afraid they were trying to take them from me.
Okay. Follow up, Ms. Captain.
Your reference to the foster care agency, does that have to do with an email that was sent to me from your mother-in-law?
Yes, it does.
All right, that Dan's mother.
Yes.
And that email was in reference to, in the event that you and your parents were arrested in association with this crime, could I please contact that particular agency to assist with the children in the event they have no guardian temporarily until they could get down here from where they reside in Canada? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so they were not trying to take your children unless there was an event where you were unable to care for them.
But because there's no event in which I would be unable to care for them, that feels like trying to take away my children.
Garcia.
No follow-up question.
Magbaua.
And this email about you, about there being possible arrests of you and your family, that came right after Katherine Magbanua was arrested, right?
I don't remember exactly the timeline of that.
Okay, thank you.
Further, Ms. Captain? All right, you can step down. Do we need to keep this witness any further? Anybody need her any further? Magbanua?
One brief moment, Your Honor.
Hold on a second, Ms. Adleson.
And she is out of there. Oh,
Under subpoena, Your Honor.
You remain under their subpoena. Right, you. You can communicate with her about any arrangements if you need her to come back, but she's free to go at this point.
Your Honor, we'll reach out to our attorney when we.
All right, last thing you're gonna get this afternoon is probably not what you want to hear, but it was a little legal lesson that one of the jurors raised. They asked a question about the type of immunity that was discussed by Ms. Adelson. It's really not a fact question, it's a legal question. So this is a little legal lesson. In the state of Florida, there are 3 kinds of immunity. There's transactional immunity, there's use immunity, there's use and derivative use immunity. Transactional immunity means that some person cannot be prosecuted for an offense. Use immunity means that what the person says cannot directly be used against them. Use and derivative use immunity means that what they say cannot be used against them, nor can it be used to develop leads to gather evidence against them. The type of immunity that Ms. Adelson has received, because I have been the one that explained it to her, is use and derivative use immunity. In other words, what she says today cannot be used directly against it, nor can it be used to develop leads against her. She does not have transactional immunity. I mean, she could be prosecuted for the crimes involved, but what she said cannot be used against her, nor used for any leads to develop information. So hopefully that answers the juror's question that asked the question.
Oh, my God. I just fell asleep. Okay. Well, now that we've had our legal lesson from sleepy Judge Hendrickson, use and derivative use immunity conveys that she can be arrested, but nothing she said today can be used against her or develop any leads. My God. That guy should have retired 6 years ago. Okay, beautiful people. Oh, a few more comments before we go. Wayne Cook says, Hottie. She told Georgia. Elephant in the room was in the event of your arrest. Oh, I like that, yeah. Hangman Hankinson. Yeah, that's it, not Hendrickson. Hangman Hankinson, because he's a tough judge. A no bullshit, no leeway judge. Our original G, Rabbit. Top poster. Hey, Rabbit, you should become a chat moderator. We're building the channel, man. It's going places. We're going places together, forever, in peace. Wendy's immunity does not protect her during her law enforcement interview. Any statement or information from that interview is usable to charge her. Yeah, absolutely. And everything else, it's just what's said in the trials. Anyway, a little bit longer on tonight than originally planned, but that's okay. We're going to shut it down, though, guys. Oh, just before we go, George Dixon in the house. How well do you think Wendi is able to sleep at night knowing that the cops are coming? Well, I don't even think she's a human being. She's so full of collagen and Botox and face filler and shine that, you know, is there even a soul in there anymore? Or was there ever? I mean, you know, she thrives off this, though. She gets a real buzz about being close to, you know, and it is tight. It is tight. There isn't a smoking gun. And even if they are able to convict her on the circumstantial 2 million coincidences and dodgy law enforcement interview, general ISIM, you know, even if all that comes off, with what we know at the moment, there would still be probably good grounds for her appeal, which is already prepared by some of the top lawyers in the land, you know? So I think she's feeling pretty safe. But I know, and I know that you know, all you guys know that Georgia Kappelman, this is a personal mission for her. You know, I'm sure all of her cases are, but this one is different. This is, Georgia Kappelman's been working this for 10 years. Pretty much. Almost. Certainly 9, 8, 9. So I don't think we can call Wendi a slut. She's graduated a version. Donna's proudest point versus valedictorian. She likely didn't sleep with Dan too much. Married him for his genes. She cut off the Cass. Oh. Oh, thank you, Rabbit. No, I didn't think. I don't, I didn't think the show was too good today. Surprisingly, it wasn't that good of a video to analyze. Pretty samey throughout. But yeah, more coming, guys. And I'm just getting back into the flow of it. Easy going. Easy going. We might do a bit more prep tomorrow for some videos, but we got to find the time. We got to make the time, stop the time, rewind, and play again. To be honest, I've been tempted to go through the whole Wendi interrogation again. All 6 hours of it. And I'd love to do Tamara Demko again. There's some really good stuff in there that I missed first time round. Maybe I'll work on cutting down some of the key bits and just discuss those. Also, I've been thinking about doing some what do you call it? What's the opposite of live? Like not live. Including some other materials from some other sources and putting together a little package. Anyway, we should be on tomorrow, guys. So hope you can all come back, catch the show. We'll try and put up a waiting room. I'm going to have a little think about a topic for tomorrow. I don't know if we're just going to do Wendi Adelson 2022, Katherine Magbanua's retrial, or go and do something else for a couple of days. Another, maybe Luis Rivera, maybe... I want to do June Umchinda as well. I think she's got some really good points in her testimony, and it's quite funny. She's quite funny. And we want to get onto some Daniel Rashbaum as well. That's always very good value. Right. Love you all. Good night, guys. Take it easy. Peace.